Fellas, what's going on, man? Happy Monday to everybody. I hope everybody had a blessed weekend. You are here at Players Choice's very own panel. I'm up here with my man Big Ox Bob. Up here with my dog Damo.
Yo.
Up here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mars Talk Sports. How you doing, Mars?
Hello. Hi.
Ticket TV in the building somewhere. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. He might be here. He might not be here, but he's in the building. We just don't know what room he's in. But fellas, what's up, man? It's been a long weekend. Y'all talk to me. What gripes y'all got in the basketball community right now?
Well, I'll start off. I wasn't here when y'all did the whole addressing low stream. Man, stop giving these NBA players credit, bro. These dudes is casuals. A lot of these NBA players is casuals, man. Just because the guy plays the game don't mean he knows the game. This is wild.
Damo, I respectfully disagree with what you're saying, dog. You can't talk shit about a nigga who been on the court, running the lap, putting in the work. Like Drake said in the song, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. So how you gonna tell me in certain situations how certain things supposed to feel, how certain things supposed to go, how certain things supposed to be? If these dudes put their life into this, you got to give them that. You put your life into it. You put everything into it. You didn't do that. You didn't put your life into being on the court. They did. You understand what I'm saying? It's a few guys who live and put their life into the game. So he does have a point to an extent, but you guys have a lane too. Y'all got a point too. I don't think that we should wipe out y'all because y'all guys didn't do it like that, or didn't play at a pro level, or didn't put their whole life into basketball. But growing up since guys was 5 and 6 years old, that's all a lot of us cats been doing. It's been on the court in situations. So of course you're gonna see things different than the other person. You know what I'm saying? You're the guy who might be doing all the research when they're the people that's giving you the research because they're actually on the court. So it's always been situations where you can see something or feel something different than guys who actually been on the court, feel it and see it. That's why I agree with some of what Bob was saying when he told that the low, they be talking condescending sometimes. And then when KD come up on the screen, you got to keep that same energy with KD. Like me and Jay Will, we set it off on here. When when Jay Will came in here and me and Jay Will was going at it, you can ask everybody that was in here that was on there. You know, that was war, bro. Ain't gonna be no back down. So you can't.
Can I ask you a question? Ticket? True or false? More players now are not watching film compared to players of the past. True or false?
I don't know because it depends. It depends on which players you're talking about. The players that are actually covering the game,
the young players.
No, you're talking about the ones. I'm saying, are you talking about the one? Let me get a clear understanding what you're saying. Are you talking about dudes that are in the league right now, or ones that are out of the league?
No. Guys that are in the league right now. Do you feel like they're watching more or less film than they were in the past?
Well, now they're watching more film. That's true because now they have dedicated more. They're watching more film than they are practicing now. That's why I'm saying that. That's the truth. Most of the days they're going in watching film. See, back in the day, like when Chill come up, I came up after Chill, we was on the court more. You know what I'm saying? It was more 2.5, 3 hour practices. You going hard. Nowadays, it ain't that. It's old film, tape, recovery, shoot around, something like that. It ain't that much practices. It's more film watching. So yeah, those guys are in the film room a lot more. That's true because they're being a lot of them being forced.
I find that hard to believe when you have a guy like Darius Garland who can say when he came into the league, he never had a vet or an older guy sit with him and watch film with him like how Rondo did. There's a lot of the veteran guys that are getting these young guys in the film room to really watch film. We can definitely agree, Ticket. There's different levels when it comes to watching film. You can look at some stuff that was recorded. You can look at the plays that the coach puts up there, but are you actually watching film? We can agree with that.
No. I agree. No. Listen. I don't want to sound like I disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying, like, okay, what you just said was facts. I'm not going to take that away from you. What I'm saying is that these guys nowadays, they're watching more film than they are practicing now. They're getting more film breaks. Everything is video now.
Now, hold on, Damo.
That's why, Dom, I go so hard on.
Oh, you cut out, Ticket.
You cutting it out. Chill. What was you saying? Go ahead, Chill.
Well, it's a difference between watching film. You went in and out, Ticket.
Okay, my bad. No, hold on 1 second. I was saying this is what I was saying. All I was saying was this. And Dom was right partly of what he's saying. Like older guys sometimes will pull the young guys apart and say, look, watch this. That's the extra film that they need to be studying and watching. When Dom says guys ain't watching film, that's not true because they're being forced to watch more film now because practice times and stuff are cut down as far as being on the court, because they're giving these guys more rest and recovery, which is why me and Chitchat and other guys complain about guys not playing all these games, because they don't have to do it like we did it. How we do, we on the court 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours, bro, on the court. And I'm talking about during the season. These guys, they don't even practice, they might practice like an hour, 45 minutes, and then the rest is film and stuff like that during the season. The hardest time they got is in training camp. But during the season, they're watching more film than anything. But like you said, once they get outside that film session, I do agree. It's only a chosen few, Dom, and you're right, that will go back and really dive into and study the film. Those are the true great ones. And you're right. It's vets that will pull you to the side and say, look, Slim, you need to come back and watch this. Maybe coach didn't touch on this in the film session today, but you need to come back and look at this. So I do agree with you, but I'm just saying, like, when you said what you said when you came in about how the players can't say nothing, we can say whatever. I can say whatever I want to say about LeBron, KD, any of these guys. One thing I can't take from them, though, they put their life in this. And it ain't easy to get up every single day, get out that bed, and go put in that work. And Bob know this, Phil know this, Fluent know this. You know it to an extent because you played a little bit before. So I'm just saying, bro, it's real, man. When you, especially when you get to the pro level, now you playing for money. Now everything else comes into consideration. Your diet, how you eating, how you training, how you keeping yourself prepared every season. What are you doing? Man, listen, let me tell you something, Don. I gave my whole life to basketball. I miss funerals. I miss holidays. I miss birthdays. I miss everything because of the game of professional basketball. It took so much out of you that for me to sit up here and hear somebody say, oh, well, they don't know. No, these guys put so much in the game. Bro,
not every player. Not every player. I'm saying some guys. If I didn't preface my statement by saying some of these basketball players, which is what I thought I said, some of these guys that play the game of basketball, it doesn't remove them from being casual, having casual takes or casual outlooks on the game, which is super true. You've heard plenty of players sit up on podcasts, interviews, or whatever it was, and say the most blatantly wild stuff you've ever heard, but they've put their life on the line and they've put their bodies on the line playing the game of basketball.
Well, this is the thing, Damo, because I feel you. Sometimes it gets misconstrued when I say like what I was saying to Lo previously about not playing ball. I don't think that. I think like, so for instance, I kind of preface more into like coaching and stuff. When not like if I have a coach when I'm younger or even anytime I had a coach, I need a coach that played ball. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. I'm not saying that playing ball gives you a PhD in knowing basketball, because there's a lot of people that play ball that I won't really listen to. Like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. But I don't think that everybody that plays ball knows ball. But I think in order to like coach or do something at a higher level, then you've definitely had to have been on the court to understand certain things. And that doesn't mean you had to be good. That doesn't mean you had to play pro ball. That just means you had to, play a good amount of basketball growing up in organized basketball too. You know what I'm saying? Not just. I think it helps for the understanding of the game.
Hey, do you say that, Don? Because if you go to an NBA practice right now, you won't understand half the stuff the coach is talking about. Like you'll come on here right now and you'll break down a whole game, and you'll go to an NBA practice right now. Chitchat been in NBA practice, and you want to understand half of what the coach is saying. Half of the terminology the coach is, and that's the type of stuff KD and them dudes is talking about when they say, "Oh, y'all, I don't respect how y'all look at the game," because see, KD and them, like I said, when you get into that, like. When you go from high school to college, now it's a whole different world. When you go from college to the pros, it's a whole different world. You're learning something new every single day, new terminology. So when you think you may have known something, once you get to that next level, you're like, damn, I ain't know nothing. Like I'm learning new stuff all the time. So these guys, like I said, you can analyze the game from the outside, but if you go to an NBA practice right now and get hit with 1,000 different terminologies, you might not know what the hell these guys are talking about. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the stuff KD's talking about. But KD's disingenuous because it's dudes like you, dudes like Mars, dudes like Lo, all these other dudes who really dive deep into the game and study the game. And I feel like that's very important. That's the reason why I do respect y'all and I do come on here. If I didn't respect nobody like that, I wouldn't come on here. If I didn't respect talking to dudes like that. I like getting into it because I do think that Mars is necessary. I do think Lo and you are necessary. It's like I think me, Hilltown, Bob, Fluent, all of us is necessary too from how we look into the game. So I feel like all across the board, man, we all bring something to the table. I just didn't like it when KD said how he said to Lo, and to the dude, let me say this, to the dude who said I try to cap and try to like steal Lo shine. Nigga, KD came at me before this whole shit started. Me and KD already been into it. The nigga came at me talking about I'm a LeBron James fan. I told the nigga, you don't know what you're talking about. Nigga, if you think I'm a LeBron fan, so sit down. And he came at me, and Ron, you remember when KD came at me on PC when we put the thing up on the what you call it, and he came talking about this dude's a LeBron fan or whatever. He came at me first, and that whole situation with Lowe got started because me and Chilltown was arguing about KD. That's when Lowe came in after that on the video and had that thing that went viral. So what is you guys talking about? We was already talking about that, but I ain't want to. Go ahead, man.
Chill, you was referencing something, and what's good,
well,
Shiloh?
we were talking about watching film. There's a difference, Damo, between watching film and understanding film. There's plenty of guys who I've been in practice with that are there, have no idea what we're doing. But there's more guys. You know the guys that are in practice that are watching film. You know the guys that are studying the game. You know the guys that are in the gym that are the first ones in and the last ones to leave, right? But we also know the guys who are the last ones in the gym and the first ones to leave. Those are the guys that we really don't pay much attention to. You know the guys being on a team, a guy that you'll go to war with because you know this guy is invested in it. I've mentioned in the past plenty of times, how many of these dudes actually know how to play basketball? Well, that has a lot to do with how they study in film. Because there's guys that I've sat in film room with, and they won't even ask questions, and we'll get on the floor, and just like that, they'll pick it up. But then there's guys who I'm sitting in the film room with who they are asking questions, and they can't pick it up, and we've been over it 4, 5, 6 times, and they just don't get the game. They just don't understand the game. Now, the idea that these guys are casuals, I really hate that term. And the reason why I don't like that term is because a casual sounds to me like somebody that's just here, that doesn't really do this. There are guys on the floor who do it, but to be a casual means that I'm only here sometimes. You can't be that good and be a casual basketball player. And these guys, I totally disagree with I have such a difficult time hearing the term casual, because casual means it just means average to below average. And that's not what the story is with these guys at the pro level. You have no idea what it takes to be at the pro level. I played basketball at a high level. And when I got to playing overseas, right? When I got to playing in summer league. So for example, the summer league that they have in Vegas, that was the summer league in Long Beach, and I played against the Portland Trailblazers summer league team. It's such a different atmosphere. The terminologies, the players, how they look at you, how they measure small things like being able to throw the ball in the post. How do you cut on a delay cut? What I mean when I say a delay cut, not just dive into the basket, maybe slicing to the middle of the paint, then slowly dive into the basket, and then a guy hitting you. Stuff like that. They measure small things like that, as opposed to if you could just rebound or if you could just shoot the basketball. These things right here are the difference between you making a squad and missing a squad. Something similar to that. And these guys that are playing in the NBA, we're talking about over 450 players in the NBA. The worst player in the NBA, I've mentioned this in the past too. The worst player in the NBA, the local gym that you go to, that you think that this guy is awesome, the worst player in the NBA will come to that gym and he'll destroy the best player in there.
Everybody in there. And chill, listen, I don't really turn my camera on a lot. I'm going to show y'all. Like, when I talk about living the game, Don, I don't even be saying nothing, bro. I walk in here every single day in this show, and I be coming out of the gym, bro. You see me, dog? You see all this shit? You see all this stuff? This is off the gym every single day. I don't even show this shit. I'm soaking wet. I got to go take a shower. But I'm just telling y'all, bro, this is what you talking about, living the game. And to everybody who said, oh, Ticket, you ain't playing the league. Nigga, I made $1 million. I ain't had to play in the league. I made $1 million. I ain't had to play in the NBA. And I got the contracts and the receipts to prove it. So like I said before, you can say whatever you want to say. You ain't do what I did. So if you didn't, shut your punk ass mouth up. So all them cats in the comment section, silent and say, oh, y'all can't talk to KD. Nigga, you can't talk to me. You ain't do what I did. So sit your ass down. There's levels to this. So all we're saying is that what KD said, I think what he did to Lowe was wrong, because I think that it's an area for both. I think it's an area for both. And I don't like what KD did. I don't like what he did to Lowe and tried to like demean Lowe and make it seem like because Lowe wasn't out here playing and stuff like that, he can't comment on the game. Because guess what? We ain't got no problem taking dudes' money that ain't play the game of basketball. We ain't got no problem putting their money in our pocket. So I always believe if a person is willing to support our product and put money into our product, watch the games, buy the merch, buy the shoes, all that other stuff, they should be able to have an opinion too. These are facts. without us acting crazy over it. I didn't respect how KD came off. He came off condescending at the dude, like dude ain't put in no work studying the game, loving it. Stan Van Gundy ain't play basketball. Look at Stan Van Gundy though. You know what I'm saying? So come on, man.
Real quick. Chill.
Yes,
When you said it was guys that again they'll be in the film room, they'll watch the film plenty of times. And I understand guys learn differently, but you just said guys are not understanding the game. They don't know the game of basketball. They don't understand the game, right?
Correct.
Guys in that aspect that don't understand the game, the term casual isn't talking about their work ethic or how much work they're putting into the game or their dedication to the game. It's just another word of saying, yeah, you don't know ball like that. You don't know the game. That's all saying someone a casual is. Right. If you can admit that there are NBA players, there are pro players that don't know the game of basketball, those guys would be the casuals. That would be what a casual is.
That's fair.
Is Michael Porter Jr. a casual?
I do not believe Michael Jordan Jr. I do not believe Michael, because watching Michael Porter Jr. play, he looks like he knows how to play basketball.
So how about on the defensive end? Because we talk about his IQ sometimes not being fully aware. Would you call that being a casual? Like his IQs are all the way there. Even if he's not fully aware, that doesn't mean that he's clueless. That's why he's at the pro level, so he's not completely clueless. And that's when I think about a casual, that's why I'm glad you cleared that up, Damo. Because when I hear casual, that just sounds such like casual, like YMCA. That sounds like a weekend league guy, a guy that plays basketball. That's what I think about when I hear casual. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that guys at the pro level are that casual. No, because I've seen these guys. And there might be guys who understand the game better than others, but they're not casuals, quote unquote. So yeah, I'm glad you cleaned that part up.
For example, Brandon Miller, when they ask who's the GOAT, and Brandon Miller, oh yeah, Paul George my GOAT, automatically, that's a casual take. That's casual. That's not a that's
which is but is it a casual? We're talking about a 19-year-old kid who
in context, looking deeper into it, makes a lot more sense. He's just saying his favorite player, and he cleared it up. But if you have a person like that, you would say, oh well, that if you go out there and you really think Jimmy Butler is the greatest player of all time, you can be 16. You're a 16-year-old casual. That's fine.
Or you just 16 and you don't know nothing else except Jimmy Butler and growing up watching Jimmy Butler. That doesn't mean that I'm clueless to the game, though.
What he said wasn't that bad. Like you guys said, he was young. He probably never even seen Michael Jordan. So why just lie and say Michael Jordan's a GOAT just because that's the thing to do if he never watched it?
I've never seen Chamberlain play. I'm not going to say and go to Chamberlain as the GOAT. I'm not going to say that.
From Brandon,
when I say never seen him play, I mean like I wasn't alive when he was playing. I did watch film of him, but I wasn't alive when Chamberlain
watching the field sometimes. Yeah, like I'm not. I don't think Brandon Miller or whatever his name is went back and watched Michael
Brandon
Jordan
Miller, correct?
As much as watch PG growing up, and that's who got him to basketball. So that wasn't too.
You guys got to understand that's his player comp too, though. So he clearly, if you watch his game, he tries to resemble after Paul George. He has a Paul George build. He's probably had people all the time saying, hey, man, you look like Paul George. You about to be the next Paul George, X, Y, and Z. For instance, like when I was growing up with Ox, they used to compare his game to KG. So that's why he loved KG so much. And he would say that KG was his GOAT growing up. Now, it's probably not as crazy to say that as Paul George, but at the same time, if you say KG's your GOAT, a lot of people are going to look at you like, why is KG your GOAT? That's not a knock to KG, and he's higher in the pantheon of all-time players than Paul George. But at the same time, it's like, yo, it's Shaq playing right now, it's Tim Duncan playing right now, it's Kobe. Then you got Jordan, Magic, Kareem, Wilt, all of these guys. Why would your GOAT be KG? Well, I love watching KG. My game resembles KG. I want to be like KG. I didn't think that was anything crazy to say about that.
I rather that than people lie sometimes and just like. How do I explain it? They say what's the norm. Like they might have a player in the top 10 because it's a cool thing to say. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather you be honest
like Scottie Pippen
than this. I mean, that's got to see something like that. I respect. I don't agree with it, but
no, Big Ox really believe that though.
Nah, I know he believes it, but people put in like certain names because it's the things to do. Like they fall into the peer pressure of I don't like the word to use
because everybody else says it.
Like,
everybody else is saying it.
A player that you never watched before. Yeah, right. So I'd rather you be honest about who you actually watch.
Sounds like a good idea. So that's what we're gonna do. So
yeah. So I didn't see no problem in doing that.
When you're talking about guys like Brandon Miller, we're talking about a kid who grew up watching Paul George, and just like I grew up watching Jordan, just like I grew up watching Magic and George Gervin and guys like that. So of course, I'm gonna say that this guy is the GOAT, not realizing that, well, I haven't really seen too much of him. I haven't really seen too much of this guy. But I saw Jabbar, right? I was around when Jabbar was playing, right? I was around when Jordan was playing. So I wasn't around when Bill Russell was playing. But doing some homework, I could say, yo, this guy is and I can back it up with facts. Brandon Miller, on the other hand, at 19 years old, like Ron said, he sees Paul George, him being compared to him, and that's my game. And of course, if he's my favorite player, what ultimately does that mean? I think he's the best player ever.
Yeah, you're right. That would explain. A lot of people's looking crazy, like when you disrespected Mike, but him being so young and not really knowing, that dude ain't know what he was saying when he was talking about, yeah, man, I seen Mike shoot an air ball and all this other. Like, you know how the young cats be real disrespectful. Like, they'll disrespect the OGs and don't even know what the OGs did. He just one of them dudes. He's so young, bro. 19 years old, 18, 19 years old. Yeah, he grew up. He ain't even Jordan's 60 years old right now. So Jordan can shoot 10 air balls in a row. He's 60 years old. He was
trying not to go to Charlotte, Tiki. I think he was trying to get out of Charlotte.
Mike did it on purpose though. Mike said, "Nah, you're coming over here." Yeah, he coming over here now, and he gonna get it for that. They're gonna push him for that. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put that boy through the gauntlet.
Yo, in light of the whole low aftermath, does anybody else have anything that they want to say about it? Do we need to touch back on it, or should we just politely move on?
I'm just glad that it was addressed, and to let the world know that, yo, when you come at one of us, you come at all of us. I thought that was dope. The fact that we were able to come together and make it clear that we might, in the words of Tupac, we might fight amongst each other, but I promise you this: we'll burn this down. You get us pissed.
Hey, chill. Mm-hmm. It's like they watch that, and you know, if y'all not in the group chat, y'all don't know. You know, we kind of compare ourselves to the Avengers and whatnot. And I think you guys should go ahead and drop down who's everybody's comp in the Avengers. But with that being said, like, you know, when they watch,
hold on, Ron. And Ticket is right. And me and Ticket go at it all the time, but Ticket is right. And I fight Ticket on this a lot, but the more I think about it, the more it's starting to make sense. They are paying attention to us. They are listening to us. A while ago, I was like, yo, listen, we just talking to the fans, not realizing that these dudes really listen to us. And the influence
they're human beings.
Yeah, they really do listen to us. And not only do they listen to us, their faces scrunch up, or they get excited about the stuff that we say. And I'm thinking that, yo, my basketball takes, when I talk, just the people who, and just y'all dudes is listening to me, and maybe a couple of people in the chat listening to me, not realizing that, yo, Kevin Durant heard what you said, right? Paul George heard what you said, and this might turn into something. This dude heard what you said, and this might turn into something. So I'm actually glad that Lowe did what he did. And regularly recognizing, like I said, with me and Ticket, we go back and forth with it. But I'm starting to come around more and more. Ticket, you right, yo. They listening to us, and they listening to us more than I think.
Yeah, no, they always they listen to the show. They got guys who's cool with them directly, you know, close to them that listen to the show. And if it like with Lowe's thing went viral, and so they passed it to KD. That got to KD from somebody who was cool with KD. So once he got that, he like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna pull up on this cat. So when he caught Lowe, he know Lowe be doing the Twitter spaces. So when he caught Lowe, you know, KD's Twitter fingers. So when he caught Lowe, boom, he just pulled up on him, and they knew what they was gonna do, because immediately after he did that, they spliced that, made it seem like Lowe agreed with everything KD said, and then said Lowe got cooked. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that was right. That happens to me a lot over here, where I get done dirty on all the shorts, on all the little short videos. I get done dirty, spiced up, and all my bad parts. But when I'm cooking, it's never put out there. But we'll leave that for another day. Yeah, you too, Ron. You right up there too, because you admitted the other day that you be slicing them and dicing them too. You right there with those. Hey, Doug, I'm gonna kick your ass too, Doug. I'm gonna kick your ass too. I got me out here looking crazy sometimes. But yeah, man, like I said, they listening. They got somebody listening now. It's somebody listening.
I give props to someone like KD, someone on his caliber, to even like interact with players and interact with fans as much as he does. He doesn't have to do that. Most players on his caliber don't do that. So I respect him for even having a conversation.
Yeah, they do, Shallow. You know what they're doing?
Hold on.
No, they doing what KD punk ass used to do. They on burner.
Oh, the burner account. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
KD only started poking out his chest when he got caught.
He got caught. No, you're right.
If he would have never got caught on the burner, he'd still been doing that same shit he doing on burner accounts. Bro, they talking about the refs got burner accounts, bro. So you know what this is, bro. Yeah, the refs got burner accounts. It was in here on troll accounts talking shit, man. Come on, man. We know what it is, bro.
All right, y'all. We're gonna continue to move on. Hey, chill. What I was getting at though is, in Avengers when they have the Civil War and they see everybody fighting and they don't think they cool. But if you step into this realm, which has happened with a couple people, we're gonna get you. We're gonna let you have it.
You better watch out when you walk in this room. You better know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
All right, like man. We got super chats. We're gonna go ahead and do these. We're gonna start right from
real quick though, Ron. I will say that Captain America Civil War was damn near harder than all the Avenger movies though. Some thought it out there. That shit was fire.
And that's when T'Challa first came in. I was like, yo, who is this? But yeah, keeping it pushing, keeping it pushing. Sports PSP said Ron needs to promote his suits. Suits are fire. What's up, Ox? Hey, y'all know I come with it every day. Hey, don't let this show fool you. You catch me outside this show, I'm gonna be the most cleanest person you'd have ever seen.
Hey, Ron, hold on and tell them guys, y'all invited too. Y'all ain't gotta be afraid to come on. Just hit Ron up, hit one of the guys up that's leading. Y'all can come on. I mean, any of the NBA players that want to come on. Y'all don't like something that somebody on the panel say. You ain't gotta be afraid. You can hit Ron up. Ron will give you his information on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever.
Let's get to the bottom of it.
We get it on. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. We ain't nobody over here running. I know Damo ain't running. I know Mars ain't running. I know Low ain't running. Chill, Fluent. None of these guys. But nobody's running, bro. So like I said,
I'm running. I don't.
You ain't Mars ain't running. No, you ain't Mars. You're not running. We ain't gonna let you run. You're not running, Mars.
I'll try. Running. I'll try.
No, you're not. I'm slamming the door and I'm locking it. Don't be scared, Mars. You ain't gotta run.
Let me out, though.
Nah.
MV said, "Can we have a show where we talk about the forgotten stars like Chauncey, Stack, Starberry, Eddie Jones, Larry Johnson, etc."
Okay, first and foremost, none of them dudes are forgotten. They just not talked about by you. We talk about them all the time. People amongst my age group, people like Ticket, people a little bit younger than Ticket. Nobody has forgotten about who Eddie Jones is. Eddie Jones would be fantastic in today's game. Same thing about Marbury. Marbury, I believe when he retired, I believe it was either Bob Cousy, Oscar Robertson. I think he was one of 3 players in NBA history to retire to average 20 and 8 for his career. That's not forgotten. He
played in the wrong era, Chilton. If he played in this era, oh my God. If Marbury played in this era, that's
he'd be a max point guard today.
Man, we be talking about his whole career. You talking about a dude probably averaging around 28.
Yeah, he'd be a max point guard today. He'd easily be, if I'm just going off the top of my head, Marbury would be 28, 11. He would easily be something like that. I believe he would easily, and he'd be a max point guard in today's game. So like what you see Damian Lillard doing, like what you see guys like that will be Marbury today.
Facts. And Gil too. Gotta say Gil too.
Gilbert Arenas too.
Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying?
Which, by the way, I'm glad you brought up Gilbert Arenas, because Gilbert Arenas, he's really critical of the 60s, and I would love to talk to Gil just to let Gil know that, Gil, just so you know, in 20 more years, 20 years from now, you'll be removed 40 years from the NBA, and there's going to be a kid that's running around saying a dude that was 25-5 for 5 straight years played against plumbers, and you're going to want to strangle him because you knew what you were doing. So just remember that when you're talking about Bob Cousy and Chamberlain and Bill Russell and Nick Thurman and Oscar Robertson, just remember that.
Oxdamo, is this some guys that you guys grew up watching and looking up to that we don't talk about as much as you think we should talk about? Mars, Shiloh, you too?
Well, my favorite guy coming up was Zebo, Zach Randolph. I always feel like Zebo's under talked about.
First name 20, last name 10. That's what you're talking about.
That was my guy. Zebo is my guy. Marc Gasol is my guy. I love that. I love that Grizzlies team. Those are my dudes. Who's another guy? Pau Gasol isn't talked about enough, and I'm a Laker fan, so I'm always feel like that. Pau Gasol was dope. Same with Lamar Odom before everything. He was great player.
Oh, hello.
Definitely. More. Don't forget Rasheed. Mostly, I want to say Rasheed Wallace. I know we talk about him, but we don't talk about him enough. Rasheed is one of the great power forwards, and we should act like it. But when it comes to me with guys like this, bro, I don't even want to get started. Y'all gonna be up here laughing at me because I'm gonna be talking about guys like Thaddeus Young. So.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Big Ox. Why is that funny? First and foremost, the average pro career, just so you guys know, the average pro career is 4 years. Thaddeus Young played quadruple that. I believe he's in year 16. And Thaddeus Young is the consummate pro. Thaddeus Young knows exactly how to fit into a system. Not only does he know how to fit into a system, he knows how to play on and off the court. That's a professional. It's like a lot of you dudes, you get confused with a pro just being a good basketball player and not realizing what it takes to actually be a pro.
Hey, Ron, put that back on the screen.
That's one of the dudes that was one of my favorite players at the time too.
That's gone.
Hey, Ron, I see you trying to troll. It ain't no super chat, but you put that on the screen. Put that back on the screen. That wasn't no super chat. You didn't pay to get that comment, but your trolling ass put that on the screen. Put that back on the screen. Now, Shabazz, we're gonna send you a link right now and pull you up right now.
Come through, yo. Come through,
Ron, right now. No, Ron, put him back up there. Now, hit Ron right now. Hit Ron right now. We're gonna send you a link and pull you up right now. We're gonna end this right now today.
Give him your information, Shabazz.
We'll end this right now today. Hit Ron up right now. Send your information.
Here's the thing, Ticket. This is what we need to understand, Ticket. A lot of these dudes who don't, and Damo already brought it up. A lot of these guys that don't really know basketball, they're the ones who they want to be able to say, yo, I got punched in the face by Mike Tyson. That's what they really want to do. They don't really want to actually get into an actual basketball conversation because the majority of them don't know. The majority of them just want to be here and they want their 15 minutes of fame. And when they get punched in the face, be able to go, yo, I got punched in the face by Mike Tyson. Did you see it? That's all it is. I do my best not to really pay much attention to them guys. But sometimes you got to make an example out of some people.
Y'all know Shabazz ain't finna pull up.
Hilltown, I'm a casual. For the last 25 years, I done got up around 5:45 in the morning, ran about 3.5 miles, shot 1,000 shots before we even come on the show. Before even my first practice, I don't already put in all that work for 20 years, but I'm a casual. Man, bring his ass up here, man. Get his ass.
Y'all hear that, chat? 20 years of work and still won't play me one-on-one.
I was about to look at earlier.
Hey, Bob, I ain't never seen no film on you either. You gotta get some film.
We're gonna get to the bottom. We're gonna get to the bottom of that.
I'll shoot you something light, Ticket.
Because Bob, niggas like you up 6'7", 6'8"?
Yep, 6'8".
Oh yeah, I'm going over top your head. Ain't even
you got to be 6'11". You got to be 6'11".
Bob, we play above the rim over here, Bob. We play above the rim over here, Bob.
Yeah, I still meet you up there.
Play above the rim. We skyscrapers, Bob. Real talk. We not just talking about this. We going over top of dudes. If you ain't
I'll meet you out there.
No, I respect Bob. I know you, Bob. I respect you, Bob.
That's what it gets misconstrued. They think I won't come through. I come through the middle.
Facts. I feel you, dog. I respect that.
Ticket already said he balled me in the chest as soon as we walk on the floor. He want to check my temperature.
But Shabazz gonna pull up though. It's Shabazz that was talking that stuff in the comment section gonna pull up.
Where you at, Shabazz?
Ticket already said he gonna bowl me in the chest because he want to check my temperature. He want to see what I'm really about, and he know what time it is.
You know how it is when you're on the court, man. You gotta see how I do build. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna bowl me. He want to see what
Shabazz don't want it, Ticket. He ain't pulling up on you.
That's why. Look, that's why I respect Bob. I was so pissed. I'll tell y'all a story real quick. I was so pissed off at Bob when Bob first came on here, bro. I hated that motherfucker. I said, Ron, man, this motherfucker, Bob. Excuse my language. I said, Bob, man, is the blank hole, man.
Tell him exactly
I don't like Bob. I said, Bob coming on here, coming at me. But I thought about it. I was like, I gotta respect the game though, man, because he came on the court throwing balls. So I gotta respect it. So when I thought about
just like you.
I was like, I gotta respect how Bob come with it though, because he ain't come on no scare time and nothing like that. He came with it. So and I always respect that. So I respect Bob, especially if you do that and you know what you're talking about. If you do that and you just doing dumb stuff, and you're a crash dummy, then we ain't finna respect that. But yeah, Shabazz, go ahead and pull up, dog. We ain't gonna hear no more talking. We won't hear no more of that. We starting to put you dudes on the front street. All y'all dudes, this all season that's talking, y'all gonna come up here and back that up.
I got a question for the panel, and I saw this morning, and Is Damian Lillard the difference in Miami?
I think so.
And they would have won a championship if they had him this year.
If they had him this year, that secondary score to get the pressure off of Jimmy Butler, I think
it's a two-part question.
Primary score, by the way.
Primary score. No, you're right.
It's a two-part question, and second to that is, does Riles want him?
Who want him?
Does Riles want him?
Dollar's a game changer. They want Dollar. That's a perfect team.
Why wouldn't they want?
Yeah, so don't let that fool you. Don't let you know how when you see a chick and she be like, she act like she don't like you. And she looking out the corner of her eye every time you look over. You like, is she looking at me? But she acts like she not feeling you, and she's
being mean to you, giving you fake attitude. But she,
right.
She
like
you.
No, you gotta look through that. Like
I'm trying to look past that. To be honest with you, but Riles is with the exception of what he did with James. Riles is a very traditional dude, and these dudes been in the NBA Finals twice in the last 4 years, and the East Finals 3 times in the last 4 years. And I think Riles is looking at this crew like, we right there. Do I really want to stack the deck? Do I really want to?
Got to if he wants to win a championship.
But that's also what I'm thinking too.
They've been this close every time.
Right.
I don't think he can keep going like this. Like,
what are we missing?
At some point, you'll drive yourself crazy. Like, we're always third, fourth, fifth. We never. They got to get over that hump. I think that's 2 finals. That's 2 finals in 4 seasons.
Twice in 4 seasons.
Yeah, that got
finals last year.
I think if they can figure out a way, to pull it off, and especially obviously you got to keep Jimmy and Bam. But if they could pull it off and also figure out a way to keep Tyler Hero, which I don't even know if it's possible. No. But if it's not possible, then forget it. But if they can do that, keep Jimmy and Bam.
Right.
I don't. There's no
way.
They showed this playoff
run though. They can go far without Hero. They showed that this playoff run they could go far without Hero. So I feel like they had Dame last series or last run. I'm not saying they win it, but it would have been a different series to me.
Dame is a professional cat too. You know what I'm saying? Like you haven't heard a bunch of nonsense out of Dame. I think he fits into that Heat culture.
That Heat culture.
But Bob, what if they want Bam for Dame? No.
That's pointless.
You're taking 2 steps
forward. But hold on. That's not pointless because Dame is on a higher level than Bam.
It's not about higher level though. Bam
can get something else too. Like who else?
No. I'm saying hold on. If you're making a deal with the Miami Heat, bro, you don't want none of their trash. I want Bam. If I'm making a deal with the Heat and I'm Portland, you gotta give me Bam. I'm not gonna just give you $1 for Tyler Hero and some role play. You gotta give me Bam. That package gotta start with Bam.
Does Dame have a no trade clause?
No, Bradley Beal was the only player in the league with a no trade clause.
Oh, damn.
I think they can get off with what's the young cat?
I would do it. I would do it.
Hero,
I would do it.
A bunch of picks.
If you would have hit, you would do that.
Hold on. I would do Bam, package him with Robinson or one of those guys, and you give me Dame and the big dudes you got over there. Nurkic. Yeah, you give me that. Straight like that. That way you get a big back. I get a big and I get a guard.
I'm not mad at Dame, Jimmy, and Nurkic. I'm not mad at that. Honestly.
I'm furious. I'm a Heat fan. I'm furious.
Only a stupid GM is giving you Dame and not getting back a star in return. Dame is still a superstar in the league in his prime right now. I'm not giving you a superstar in his prime.
Nurkic's never healthy though. Nurkic's never healthy.
No. But I'm saying don't be displaced.
Hold on, Ticket though. How many superstars in their prime get traded and you actually get close to equal value for?
No. But I'm saying I'm not getting role players. Hold on, I'm not getting role players and bench players back for him.
Right.
I'm not getting your third best player in Tyler Hero, who's always hurt, who's barely there in the playoffs. You're not giving me him and a bunch of role players and picks for Dame Dollar. No, we got to start at Bam Adebayo. So we're gonna start with Bam, and you give me Bam. You want to come off Duncan's contract? You give me Duncan. And then I'll give you Dame, and I'll give you the big fella, Nerd.
I think the Blazers want to do. Go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say if you're Portland, I feel like you want to do right by Dame at the same time because he.
But that's not right by you. But you can't kill yourself.
But I'm just saying, I feel like the Heat would have leverage with that. Like they don't have to give up.
Hold on, how do you have leverage? Dame don't have a no trade clause. How they got leverage?
It's not about no trade clause, but the Blazers want to do right by Dame. They don't want to.
No. But that don't mean you do. That don't mean you do wrong by yourself. Yeah,
I'm
hold
not
on.
saying that. I'm not saying that. But I feel like they'll live with the Tyler Hero stuff. The Heat is not trading Bam.
They're not living with Tyler Hero, bro. I guarantee you they're not living with Tyler Hero.
2 steps back. They're gonna have to because the Heat that traded Bam.
He
is not trading Bam.
You're a dude who get fired tomorrow. They're not. That you would get fired tomorrow if you were an exec and you gave up Dame Dollar. Then you get
trade
back
Bam. You're getting fired. They're not trading Bam.
No. You're not hearing me. No. You're not. Hold on. You're not listening to what I'm saying. No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. If you're trading Bam for a superstar, and Bam, you see Bam and those guys can't get you over the hump. That's different. But if I'm trading, if I'm giving up Dame Dollar, and I'm not getting back a superstar or an all-star, hell no. You crazy as hell.
So what team would Dame want to go to that they'll trade that's giving them back a superstar that matches Dame? What
on an all-star? No. I'm saying hold on. They can do the deal with Milwaukee though to get back an all-star right now and Chris Middleton.
Does Dame want to go to Milwaukee?
Yes. He's already saying he want to play with Giannis. Yes.
Even if it's about I know what you're talking about, Shiloh, in terms of doing Dame, not doing Dame not doing Dame wrong. But at the end of the day, this is not just about Dame. This is about us also. So if I'm giving away Dame, I'm not giving away Dame for a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack. I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying
I'm definitely not doing that. So in the process of me doing that, I have to get something at least that I'm compensated for. Problem is that when you're giving up a superstar in his prime, I mean, I watched Shaq get traded for Lamar Odom, Caron Butler, and Bryant Grant, and a couple of first-round picks.
Hold on, chill. But at that time, Odom was averaging around 16, 17 a game. Butler was averaging around 20 a game.
Actually averaged 19 a game.
That's two 20-point guys. That's two nearly 20-point guys.
Lamar Odom averaged 19 a game. He averaged 19 a game.
And then he went on to win 6 Men of the Year with the Lakers. Odom.
Yeah, that was correct. That was later on.
Butler was in his prime. Butler was damn near a 20-point per game scorer in his prime.
Right. So he ended up, but the problem is that he ended up making an all-star team in Washington. It was not in Los Angeles. So
no. But I'm saying you still got 2 of those guys back. Miami's not giving you back 2 of those guys. You talking about Tyler Hero and role players or picks? Now I don't want that.
Well, Tyler Hero was the 6th man of the year last year. Since you brought up, he
was always last year. But I'm giving you a 6 last year too. Only that. I'm giving you a 6th man of the year for an all-star who was one of the top 10 players in the league this year.
We just said. I just told you about what Miami did with Shaq. So Lamar Odom went on to win 6th man of the year. So same logic here with Tyler Hero, who's a 20-point a game guy.
But how many picks?
So now the question is,
how many picks in that deal too?
I think they ended up giving up 2. I think they ended up giving up 2 ones.
2 first rounders.
I think they
in that deal too. So that wasn't. Hold on. That wasn't no highway robbery. That was 2 first rounders. And a 20-point per game score in Butler, and a dude that was averaging around 16, 7, and 7, and Lamar Odom.
But if you're the Portland Trailblazers who just drafted Scoot Henderson, you have Anthony Simons, and if you don't move off of him, you decide to move off of Dame. I don't think looking at again, if you call Miami and you're demanding Bam, you're gonna hang that phone up with an offer of Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, probably Highsmith, Jovic, and a pick or 2. That's probably what you're going to get back because they're not.
Why would he trade Bam? It's taking 2
steps back to that team. They're not about to just give up.
That makes no sense.
Hold on, but that's the problem. They're not going to get a
dynamic of their team. Like that.
They're not going. Hold on. But Don, they're not going to get a star back unless they're willing to trade up Bam. They're not going to get an all-star back unless they're willing to trade Bam. Nobody. Because listen, if that was the case, hold on, Don, think about this.
Trading Dame.
No. But that's what I'm saying. No.
That's what I'm saying. What team is he going on that's giving you also a player back?
Hold on. I just gave you. Hold on. I just gave you the team. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you again. You're not. Listen. If the Miami Heat, if they could have got an all-star player back without having to give up Bam, they would have already did it. Pat Riley been trying for the last 2 years. He couldn't get nobody because don't nobody want nothing else they got because those dudes in their opinion are on bad contracts. Duncan Robinson on a $100 million contract. Don't nobody want that deal. You don't bench this dude.
That's before Dame came out and talked about
$90 million for Duncan
and that's
Robinson.
before.
No, not hearing you. Hold on. Who wants that contract right now?
Duncan Robinson brought up his stock a little bit this past playoff. He showed that he can still play a little bit. I'm not saying,
hold on. You think he bought? You think he bought his contract?
I'm not saying
yes, Ticket. You were the one who was big.
First of all, I didn't think the coach. Hold on, I didn't think the coach played him enough. Second of all, the man averaged 5 points. Come on, man. The coach didn't play him enough. He played well. He didn't play him enough, bro.
He played well enough to where a team will probably trade for him.
Man, ain't no team, bro. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Ain't no team in their right mind, especially Portland. Hold on. Let me give you this. This is where you got to understand basketball. Portland is trying to rebuild. They're not trying to get on bad contracts with years on. Hold on, Shallow. I'm gonna let you go. I just want to say, Portland is trying to rebuild in a way. They got all these young guys, right? Unless they make a big move to go get a vet and put beside Dame, they're going to rebuild. They're not trying to get dudes that got bad contracts with excessive years on them that is going to stop them from growing and going and get future big assets that they need for those money slots. You got Duncan Robinson on a damn near $100 million contract. That's not good with the new CBA coming up because that locks you and handcuffs you in the future from if you want to go get a really good player and you don't have cap space now because you're wasting it on dudes like Tyler Hero and dudes like Duncan Robinson who are good players, but they're not the creme de la creme of the NBA, which is what you need. Right now, they've got you, so they got dudes on low contracts. They can pay Scoot, the other dude they drafted, and these other guys. Anthony Simons is probably dude that's making the most money at them young cats right now. They're not trying to bring on more bad contracts if you ain't a top-notch player. I'm saying Dame has another option because the Milwaukee Bucks would do the Chris Middleton deal in a sign and trade right now. Right now.
Don't harp on the Duncan Robinson part. My thing is, why would the Heat trade Bam? What's the point?
No. I'm saying the Heat wouldn't trade. No. That's my point.
You need a piece to get better. The Heat trade.
I agree with you.
Hold on. You wait. If the Blazers are rebuilding, why would they even want Bam? What do you want players and picks to rebuild and you Bam?
No, because you have to make the salary. Hold on, you have to make the salaries match. You don't know basketball. You have to make the salaries match. You don't know basketball. You have to make the salaries match. I want to make the hold on. I want to make the salary match. Hold on a second. I want to make the salary match with a better player. I don't want to make salaries match with bad contracts, bro.
Why would the Heat trade Bam? Answer the question. Why would the Heat trade Bam?
You're not hearing me. I agree. Once again, hold on.
Hold on. Wait, you've been talking all the time. Wait. If the Heat trade Bam,
what's wrong with you?
You talk. I talk now.
Hey! Obviously, you never come back. Nigga, better put some respect on it.
He trade Bam and the Blazers trade Dame.
The hell wrong with you?
Did he get better?
Dog, is this dude a bozo or what? Listen, I'm gonna say it again. The Miami Heat don't want to trade Bam, Dumbo. I've said this the last 3 times. That's why they haven't been able to get nobody in free agency the last 3 years to come over there because other teams want Bam.
You
don't want the other dude.
They get Dame without trading Bam. You said that they trade Bam.
You want to put some money on it?
Don't change
you want to put some money on it
now?
You want to put some money on it?
If the Heat get Dame,
you want to put some money on it? No. You said you're going to get him without Bam. Do you want to put some money on it? Yes or no?
If the Heat get Dame,
put your money where your mouth is.
The Heat is getting Dame. How much?
Let's put 500 on it right now. Like 500.
Let's do it.
Ron. We got 500, Ron. We got 500, Ron. 500 on it, Ron.
Let him tell you the bet. What's the bet?
The bet. If the Heat make a trade for Dame, Dame is still on the Heat. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm arguing. If the Heat make a trade for Dame, Bam is on the Heat.
500, nigga. 500.
Okay, so if Bam goes to the Heat and Bam is still on there, I want my 500. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Nigga, that's pocket change, nigga. That's your rent money. That's my gas money. That's your rent money. That's my gas money.
First of all, what unit do we have? What team do we have when we got an aging star, right? And when I say aging, I mean Dame has what? If you had to guess off the top of your head, Damo, how many more years you think Dame got at this level? At this level, I don't mean in the league, just at this level.
2-3 max.
Okay, so let's say 3, right? So 3 more years at this level. They just drafted a guy at his position. So now, why are we listening to logic that, well, let's see if this works with Scoot? Well, we already know that Scoot and Simons are the future, right? So what's wrong with Scoot playing behind Dame and then them propping up Dame like they do to get another suitor and eventually move on from him? Because they're not winning it. We all know that they're not winning it. So in the process of them not winning it, they're going to move forward with both Scoot and Simons. So why not just let Dame be who he is right now? Because he doesn't want to leave. But then once he plays and learns and Scoot learns from him, then you can possibly move on from Dame. I consider it like with quarterbacks. Alex Smith was basically teaching Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith for a season, and then they moved on from him. Dame, on the other hand, if you're gonna move him to Miami, you're not gonna get a superstar back. They're not giving up Bam. They're not giving up Bam for him. That's not happening. I'd be very surprised if they gave up Bam for him. Very surprised.
I agree. No, chill. I agree with what y'all saying. That's the thing, Charlotte, not listening. I agree.
So why make the
No,
bet?
you're not. Hold on. Hold on. You're not hearing. You didn't listen to the.
No, I hear what Ticket Logic is the reason. Ticket Logic is the reason why they haven't been able to is because Miami doesn't want to trade Bam. There's people calling about Bam. People call about Bam.
That's the only player they want. That's the only player Miami want. The team want is Bam.
Of course. So Ticket's saying that if the Dame trade does go through with the Heat, that Bam's going to be gone. It's crazy. They already shown that they're not.
No. I'm saying that's the only way Portland's going to do the deal. Is what I'm telling you. Portland is not. Listen. You got to understand one thing.
If Dame goes to the Heat, Bam is not going.
Yo, Shiloh, let me explain one thing to you real quick. Hold on, Ron. Hold on 1 second, Ron. Ron, give me 1 second, Ron. Give me 1 second, Ron. Okay, now, Shiloh. I'll explain one thing to you, and this is why you don't make no sense.
And then we got to.
He just said it. He just said it. If they move Dame, what happens? Old boy goes to be the starting point guard. The dude they just drafted, right? Old boy's the 2 guard now. Anthony Simon. He making how much? $100-something million right now, right? Why on God's green earth would they trade for $100 million contract and Duncan Robinson to pull him off the bench behind another young dude they making $100 million? That makes no sense going into the new CBA. The only way they would do that deal is if it's a position that they would need going forward. Because Nurk has already said that if Dame is gone, he's going to demand a trade too. He doesn't want to play if Dame's not going to be there, which means you're not going to have a big. The only way that Portland's going to want to do that deal, and they've already tried to trade for Bam, and Miami rejected him. Look at the news. Miami is not going to get nobody else in there unless they move Bam.
So
teams ain't stupid, bro.
Then if that's the case, Ticket, then that means that Miami's off the table because they're not going to move him.
Yeah, no. I'm saying it's a better chance he go to the Bucks and are trying to trade for Chris Middleton than he end up with Miami, bro.
So they'll take Chris Middleton.
Shallow.
Okay, no, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, don't tell him shallow. No, I'm just keeping it real, Ron. Y'all ain't got to try and carry me. Y'all should have
they'll take Chris Middleton.
Don't bring that energy to me. Y'all don't bring the KD, nigga. Go ahead.
Chris Middleton, okay.
We're going to move on, but before we do, I just want to ask Mars real quickly, what do the Heat look like with Damian Lillard on there? Dame, and they keep Bam. Dame, Jimmy, Bam, what's their ceiling? What do they look like?
Well, their ceiling is a championship, but they're just one of the best contenders in the East. I don't know if they're definitively the best team in the East. They're one of them.
Are they better than Boston, Mars? With KP on that crew right now, you put Dame on Miami. Are they better than Boston?
I think it's a 7-game series. I don't know who wins the series. I think it's 7 games. I think they're better than Philly. But
are they better than Milwaukee?
I don't know. I think those 3 are just they're in the same tier at that point, and whoever comes out on top, it was just their year. I don't think it just makes them like how the KD Warriors. We just knew they were going to win. I don't think it's like that. I think they're just a very strong contender in the East.
And they're definitely better than your Sixers?
They are indeed better than the Philadelphia 76ers.
Don't blow us over with your enthusiasm, Mars.
Can I ask you one question? What are they giving up to give Dame if they don't give up Bam? Got to make the money work.
The money has to work.
Money has to work. So, Ron, I'm asking you, Ron, logistics man, what are they giving up? Because you just said with Bam, what are they giving up to get Dame dollar without having to give up Bam? I'm waiting.
They're gonna have to piece together a few of them larger contracts that they have outside of Jimmy.
Oh, let's name them. Let's name them, Ron. I'm gonna put your ass on the spot now. Let's name them. Who they gonna give up?
Okay,
so hold on. Dame is making what this year, Ron? What is Dame making this year?
You know, Dame making feeling super duper man.
No, he's not 50. I believe he's on the books for 45. That track goes up later on. I believe he's on the books for 45 this season.
Okay, so that's okay. So now who? Now that means it's gonna have to be Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson on the same deal.
Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson.
Kyle Lowry's got money on his contract too, right?
We got to get a third team involved. Straight up, this isn't gonna work.
Got a little bit of money.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry on the book this year. This Kyle Lowry's
making like 30 million.
Yeah, so Kyle Lowry for sure. You throw.
Portland don't want no damn Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry, that's what I'm saying. Hold on, chill down. That's what I'm saying.
It's better to have Kyle Lowry over there teaching Scoot than Dame.
Then what am I trading Dame for?
Hold on, Chip.
Don't get me started with this, man.
Hold on, Chip.
You'll get my blood pressure up.
I don't think anybody wants Kyle Lowry, honestly. But what I'm saying is, if Portland is going to make a move, and if they are looking like, well, I can get an Alex Smith in here to teach Patrick Mahomes, maybe they're like, hey, at the very least, we can get Kyle Lowry for this last year. We'll pay him this money for this last year. He can come in the locker room. He could teach school how to be a professional. Kyle Lowry is a professional. He could teach some of our guards how to take some charges, where to be on defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
With that being said, I don't think straight up this deal works. We got to get a third team involved in this. We have to. We're going to have to get it because the compensation in terms of the money, like you just said, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and a couple of first-round draft picks, that's not going to work. We don't need those draft picks that you're going to have with the 27 and the 29th pick if we Portland and we at the bottom of the Western Conference because we rebuilding. Those picks aren't going to help us. So we need draft capital and we need young players because we moving off of our franchise player, which means we starting over. So because we're starting over.
Chitchat, you making my whole point, the young fella right here. So everything he just said about them not doing it without Bam, who's still young, who still plays a position that they have a need for. Why would you trade for two dudes when you already committed $100+ million to Anthony Simons at that position? You already going to commit money to school at the point. So your one and your two is locked up. Go ahead, Don.
What do y'all think the gap? What do y'all think the gap between Jordan Poole and Tyler Hero is?
Oh, don't do that.
Tyler Hero's better than Jordan Poole.
You think Tyler Hero is better than Jordan Poole?
Yeah,
man, y'all niggas, man, y'all on gas, man. Y'all some hate ass Jordan Poole people up here. Y'all disgusting. And Damo, I hate you for asking that question. I hate you, Damo. I hate you, dog. I hate you.
Hey, Ticket. So Ticket. Okay, Ticket. Right. So Ticket right here. Ticket. This Jordan Poole and this Tyler Hero. Tell me which way.
Put Hero down a little more. Put Hero down a little more. Yeah, right there.
No, back the other way. Switch that up, Chitchat.
Well, hey, well, guess what, Bob? We're gonna find out this. Bob, we're gonna find out this year.
Better than Jordan Poole.
We're gonna find out this year, Bob.
Ticket thinks Poole better than Tyler Hero.
Well, we gonna find out, Ticket. We gonna find out the same thing we been finding out, Ticket. That Jordan Poole can run around and shoot the ball. That's all he's gonna be doing in Washington. You know how stressed out Tyus Jones Tyus Jones gonna be over there playing with him, and that's starting backcourt. Tyus Jones gonna be losing hair like Trae Young.
I disagree. I mean, because listen, the reason why I said that, Bob, now the fluent, I said that because we seen Jordan Poole without Steph Curry in the team. He averaged 27. We seen Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson still. I mean, Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero still
gone, bro. Tyler, what's his name? Jordan Poole gonna be over there like, this is my team. I finally got a squad. I deserve this. I need this. He's gonna be shooting 28 shots a game.
Right. Right. Like he's supposed to.
Right.
So, hold on. So ask Fluent. So, hey, Fluent. Let me ask you a question, Fluent. So if both players were to be a lead role for the Wizards right now, Tyler Hero or Jordan Poole. Hold on, Damo. I'm asking Fluent. No. I'm asking Fluent. I'm asking Fluent, though. Why you hating my question? Why you hating my question, dog? Why you hating my question? Hey, hold on, Fluent.
Don't put the kibosh on that.
Fluent, who's on my question?
Yeah, don't change it up. That's not what I asked.
Hey, Fluent. If both the two dudes were stars in star roles for the Wizards, who do you think would have the better season, Jordan Poole or Duncan Robinson? I mean, not Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. Jordan Poole or Tyler Hero? No, don't say no, Kill. I want him to answer that question.
I just want to say what's up. I just want to say what's up, Tone. That's all.
Yeah, answer that question, Kill.
Also ask the Duncan Robinson question too, because that's fair.
The question is, if you're number one player on the Wizards,
yes,
right,
yes,
who would have a better year or a better
team? Right. Who would have the better season? Would it be Tyler Hero or Jordan Poole?
Take Poole off that crew. Take Poole off that crew and put Hero on that crew.
So
who has a better season?
Who's better?
The way Washington is right now.
Right now with Tyus Jones,
Tyler Hero or Jordan Poole, who has the better individual season?
Yeah,
right. You better not lie.
All around. Who wins more games than
everything? You lie. I'm coming. Ain't gonna be no chilling Floyd this week.
I just jumped. Don't lie about it. I'm not lying.
Ain't chilling Floyd this week if you lie.
You guys just throw stuff out. I gotta think about it for a second.
As soon as you walk in the door, Tone, you get.
So they're both healthy. They're on this Washington team. Who has a better individual season? I would say the individual like offensive numbers.
Tone, spit it out. Tone.
I don't want to go that way, Fluent. I want to know who would have a better season
don't
all around.
Don't let him off the hook, big guy.
Who's the best team? Who's the best team with this player?
He's posing a good question though. Are we talking about stats or are we talking about wins? What makes it?
No, we talking about. Hold on, we talking about both. We talking about the better season, both.
Because I think Tyler Hero put up better numbers, but I think Poole's team will win more games.
Thank you.
Okay, so
now,
hold
on, Damo. Hold on, Damo. We're gonna keep it right there, Tone. Now, the actual question was: this is Tyler Hero, this is Jordan Poole, and I'm gonna say which one again, Tone. This is Tyler Hero, this is Jordan Poole. Who is better, and how close is it? I want you to pay attention. Who's better, and how close is it? Again, this is Tyler Hero,
but I'm really low on Jordan Poole.
Okay, so this is Tyler Hero. So again, I'm going this way with Jordan Poole. So tell me which one. Tell me when to stop. Is the gap this far?
Keep going.
Tyler Hero's the top one and Poole's the bottom.
Yes. Is the gap this far?
Further.
I don't think the gap is that big.
Tell me when to stop, Tone. Tell me when to stop, Tone.
Yeah, about there.
All right. So they're almost the same, is what you're saying.
I think Tyler Hero does a few little things better from a team perspective.
Damo, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Damo. Go ahead.
I asked that question.
It's not like this. It can't be
I
like
asked the original question to go on to a point, but Ticket took it way left. Crazy. But
well, hold on, Damo.
I couldn't see Ticket doing that. I don't believe you.
Go ahead, Damo.
Okay, so the point was, if you believe that Jordan Poole, who's getting his own team with the Washington Wizards, and people were fine with that. Give him the opportunity. It was a nice move for the Wizards to get a young player to start the rebuild process. Okay, my point is, if Tyler Hero is seeing either not that big of a gap or even better than Jordan Poole, who's getting his own opportunity, if you are the Portland Trailblazers, so I agree with Shiloh, definitely I feel like they will have a responsibility and they will take it upon themselves to put Dame in a situation he prefers. We've seen that before with teams who have these career-long players who wants to do right by the player. It's not unheard of, and I'm pretty sure if they move off of him, they want to do right by the player. If he says the Heat is one of the 3 teams he wants to go to, and the other 2 teams can't give you anything comparable, I don't know why if they pick up that phone and it's Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, a bunch of picks, and maybe another young player, that might not be the worst thing in the world. Now, I'm not saying it's the best trade, but again, Tyler Hero going on a team that they already have their point guard for the future. You have Anthony Simons, another combo guard that can be there, and or move off of him for other guys as well to add on to this move. I don't think getting Tyler Hero, again, Jordan Poole's getting his own shot. No one's mad at it. Tyler Hero being a part of a team.
Whoa. I'm mad at it. Jordan Poole nor Tyler Hero should have their own team. That's ridiculous.
Okay, well.
I'm not mad at it because that's like a super tank. He can still just play as good as he wants to and still tank. So that's a good move.
No. Do you agree with what he just said? Do you agree with what just said? Do you think that Miami, do you think that's a fair deal for Portland to give up Dame and to get back anything lower than Bam Adebayo, meaning get back Hero, Duncan, those contracts, Hero and Duncan Robinson.
No,
I'm asking Tone.
Portland getting Robinson, Hero, and picks for Dame, depending on how many years are left on Hero and Robinson's contracts, is I think that's fine because they're not going to get anything better. He's an aging Dame. What are they going to get better than that?
So Duncan got 3 more years left on his. So Duncan got 3 more years left on his deal, and not only does he have 3 more years yet, but it ain't really a lot of money. It's $19 million, which today ain't really a lot of money. And Tyler Hero, I just think he signed that extension, so I think he got 3 more years left on his deal too. So his deal was like 125, I think, something like that.
I think that's a good return in today's NBA.
And I think Portland does right by Dame. Portland's not a big market team. You can't have your stars go out bad. You got to do right by it. It's a business play.
The point of trading Bam, the point of sending Dame and sending back Bam defeats the purpose of what Miami's trying to do.
It's 2 sets forward, 2 sets back. Yeah. I keep saying that. It's 2 sets
I agree with that.
More even, talent-wise thing, sure. But if you're Miami, you're trying to build.
I'm not doing that.
The Timberwolves got to be involved in this trade.
That's what I'm thinking, big. We got to get another team involved. I'm trying to tell you that, Tone. I don't understand why you can't get that.
No, Tone. Tone, I agree with Shiloh. I don't want y'all to think I didn't agree with Shiloh said. If you're Miami, you don't want to give up Bam. But Tone, I'm saying if you're the GM of Portland, Yeah, you trying to get back Bam in that deal? You giving up Dame? You're not trying to get back no role players.
But my
That's all I'm saying. Hold on, fellas. That's all I'm
saying. They're not gonna go that smooth. Yeah, no, but I agree with that. Of course, you want him. Of course.
But if you can get, if from a perspective of building a team together,
right?
If you could get two guys like Hero and Robinson who can shoot, 2 first-round picks, and you put them around guys like, well, let's be honest, Scoot can't shoot. So you get a point guard who can penetrate and dish to those guys. And Simons and those, you're starting to think, hey, we could build a team that could be like this kind of, shooting, run and gun kind of style of team. I think you're okay with that because those picks, although they might not be high, you can flip them for something else. Like, I think that still makes the team fun to watch, and that might be better.
But you're willing to tie up 120 million in Simons, 125 million in Hero, and 100 million in Duncan Robinson.
If you're trying to do right by Dame, maybe.
Fellas,
go ahead, Ron.
I don't want to get fully into this again.
Yeah.
Fluid, unfortunately, you're late. You missed the whole convo. But I'm gonna read this super chat. This is just gonna settle everything, and we're gonna keep it pushing. Paulo C Media said, "Here's the perfect 3-team trade to land Lillard with the Heat. Lillard to the Heat, obviously. Hero, Nurkic, and Watford to the Suns. DeAndre Ayton, Robinson, Lowry, Campaign to the Blazers."
Can the Suns take Hero's contract? I don't think the Suns can afford.
If they're coming off DA, they can.
They're saying DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, but then who's it? Oh,
no, that's Nurk's contract. Hold on, what is Nurk's contract though? What is Nurk making? Like, ain't he making like 17, 18?
Yeah, 18.
As long as the numbers are within 10%.
I'm not sure the numbers match. I'm not sure.
Wait, why wouldn't Nurkic be able to go to where was he going? Miami?
I think Phoenix.
In that trade, it said Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix.
The Suns need a defensive running big. They don't need a Nurkic. I don't know. That's
Nurkic and Hero. That is crazy.
How many times have you seen deals that big though? But
I don't think that goes to.
I don't understand. You know what I don't understand? Why would anyone deal with the Suns right now?
Unless they're getting a massive.
Let them fry. Let them fry.
Fluid. Somebody.
They're desperate though. I think you do go for the Suns. They need players. They need somebody.
Yeah,
hey Ron, I got one last question for Tone real quick. And I'm gonna leave it alone. Tone, so do you think a better deal for Dame would be to bring a 3 over to Portland, since you already got a 2 in Anthony Simons, you got a point guard and Scoop, to bring Chris Middleton over there and a sign and trade for Dame as a 3 in Portland?
We talked about this last week. I just don't like an aging, injured Middleton helping the Trailblazers. I don't see how that moves the needle for them. I'd rather get young guys. I'd rather get shooters. I'd rather get young. If I'm getting off Dame, I'd rather just get young. So bringing in a vet like Middleton doesn't make sense to me.
All right, fellas. We got a super chat from Khalil Young. He said, "Who are some teams you guys think were always one big piece away from being serious contenders in the last decade? In my opinion, the 16-17 Wizards needed either a deeper bench or an elite wing like Paul George or Kevin Durant." Mars, I want to start with you. What do you think?
Where you at, Mars? Let's get on that, Mars. You need some coffee, yo? You straight?
Am I not allowed to think? Is that? Am I not?
No,
allowed?
That's what they told me. No, you have to answer without thinking.
I should just know the answer straight away. My bad.
No, you straight, Mars. Go ahead.
Probably those Clippers teams. I think if they had a better small forward, like with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, those guys, if they just had a high level small forward, I don't want to just throw out Paul George again, but someone like that probably could have made them a better team or a new coach.
I think that Blazers team, I think losing LaMarcus Aldridge was the difference. If they had LaMarcus Aldridge, I think that they could have really challenged in the Western Conference. Losing LaMarcus Aldridge completely lessened them on the block and on the perimeter and rebounding. If they had him with Dame and with CJ, what he turned into, I think they could have really challenged in the Western Conference.
I'm gonna say that hey man, that Thunder dynasty really could have lasted had Al Horford went. You kept Vic, you kept Sabonis, let him develop behind a Kevin Durant and behind a happy Russell Westbrook. That team could have actually made made
Damn,
some problems
Dom.
for people.
When I think about that Oklahoma City team, when what they was trying to do after they lost KD, they really was on to something. They really were on to something. I mean, Vic turned into an all-league defender. You saw what Sabonis turned into with Russ. But at that point, what Russ was in the league, what, 8-9 years? They was really on to something. With Steven Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I think that 2013 Pacers team, if they had one more piece, I feel like they could have went further and probably take up the heat.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if the Wizards would have drafted Ben McLemore instead of Bradley Beal, and then we drafted Bradley Beal,
y'all would have wrecked him just like y'all did. Y'all would have wrecked him just like y'all did Ben McLemore.
Instead of Ben McLemore, we would have been ready to compete in 2015 with Rajon Rondo, DeMarcus Cousins. I'm telling you that team was ready to go. We was just one elite team. I'm trying to tell you, like if we had an elite.
The 2018 Pelicans.
That 2015 Kings team was talented. We was ready to go. We just needed one elite wing, and Ben McLemore was not him.
I'm gonna go way back from y'all.
Was a layup. The super chat was a layup, and I'm going to take the layup because the layup is it's the Toronto Raptors. Because they were already, in the last decade, the second most winningest team next to the Warriors. They only needed one guy. And so let's say they had Kawhi that whole time versus just that 1 year. Or a guy like that who could finish. That's your team. That team's in the finals 3-4 times.
Going into 2017, I said Kevin Durant should have. That offseason, before he went to the Warriors, I said, yo, Kevin Durant going to the Raptors with Lillard.
Oh, it would have been a wrap. Yeah.
I said that.
What about them? What's it? 2016 Spurs? Like the Warriors going 73-9. No one talks about how good that 2016 Spurs were.
Yeah, because they lost to OKC.
Yeah, he's talking about. He's saying if you add
for a decade, there's no other team that.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take it back in the day with y'all. I'm gonna go back to the Atlanta Hawks with Dominique. I think if you would have gave Dominique one other.
So the last 10 years just went out the window.
Last 10 years. Oh, my bad. Okay, well, since you talking about the last 10 years,
I agree with you on Neek all time. Yes.
Right. No, well, that's easy. We're going the last 10 years. That's easy to me then. The last 10 years, all you gotta do is you can go right here to this past season. If you just went right to the Sacramento Kings. I think if you put Draymond Green on the Sacramento Kings, they had a chance to go to the NBA Western Conference.
Eat it, Big Op. Get Draymond on the crew.
No, I'm dead serious. Hold on. Hey, Bob. I'm dead. Hey, Bob. I'm dead serious. Bob. And the reason why I say, hold on, Bob. The reason why I say this is because of this. If you have Draymond, if you take Draymond off the Warriors, that weakens the Warriors. That's true. That weakens them a lot. That's true. But if you put him on Sacramento, now you put him beside Sabonis, a guy who's soft, who needs a guy that can push him, that can do the dirty work. Well, he got pumped. He got pumped. He got a mud hole stomped on his ass, and he got his head lumped up and came out there looking like on Martin, looking like after Tommy Hearns. He definitely do nothing better.
He fought and lost. That don't make
If they just would have given LeBron some help in the last 10 years, LeBron could have really done a lot. All right, so
that's a fact.
Now, just so you know, I'm running things, and so we're gonna get to the next super chat. When you hear this, it means it's time to move on. J-Rob, you in? Were you in the whole time, J-Rob?
No, I just got here.
Did you hear the question? You want to answer the question too?
No, what's the question? I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the question. I was just listening.
What team in the last decade was one piece away from making like serious title contention?
I don't want to say serious title contention, but I do think we kind of missed out on the dynasty. I think the Pistons not drafting Carmelo Anthony was a huge mistake by that squad.
Just ignoring the last decade. I mean,
that's 2 decades ago.
That's 2 decades ago.
Hey, Big Ops. J-Rob is the reason why we doing extra suicides, because Coach just explained what we had to do, and he on the other side of the floor. Now we got to get back on the line.
You know what happens? You know what happened to J-Rob? Run more. What happened to J-Rob is he was out hobnobbing with a bunch of celebrities. I see Sue Bird and Jamal Crawford, and now he's just not listening.
Yo, just make sure y'all watch PC Unleashed.
Are you big time, J-Rob? Is that what you like?
Big Tommy? Are you big time? Big Tommy? My bad. I gotta think. My bad. Y'all said the last 10 years.
I am ending. J-Rob, I am ending any new TikTok I create I'm ending it with Sue Bird saying, "What's up, players' choice?"
What's up, players' choice? Yo, that was heat. That was heat.
All right.
I'd probably go maybe that Rockets team with Chris Paul and James Harden. I think you get maybe something better instead of Capella. That might have been a better team. Or at least if Chris Paul goes down, you might have had a better shot winning them last 2 games to get to the finals. So I think one more piece in Houston might have been something.
Houston? Yeah. See,
I like that team. I like that team. I like that team. So.
Tone, you had brought up Toronto, but I couldn't say Toronto because they won it.
Yeah, same.
But they could have won more.
I thought Toronto 2 for a minute, but then Kawhi came.
But they did get that one piece. Yeah. They took this dude out. They took this dude out.
And what they did when they got him.
And they did it. They made the most of it.
Jay says he's with KD from Saturday. Low can't comment on KD because he never played in the NBA. If you've never been an NBA MVP, you're just a basketball reference nerd.
And what exactly are you? So if that's true,
he's trolling. He's trolling.
I just want to say
it in a sarcastic tone.
Damn.
But any comments on that?
Joe came ready.
Oh man,
I saved his blood pressure a little bit.
Okay. Well, that is a troll job. I'm with Low because KD is not top 5. Come at me, KD. Bring it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Drink more water. I wanted to ask yesterday on the Hoop Talk podcast, but who do you guys think has the highest floor of all prospects? Wallace, GD, or Podzemski? I can't say his name. Podzemski. That's the guard, yeah.
Podzemski. He got drafted by the Warriors.
Of those 3, I think Grady Dick has the highest floor. Of the whole draft, I think Taylor Hendricks probably has the highest floor.
So, they're loving some Dick in Toronto. He has been here all weekend doing TikToks, doing videos with everybody. He's already a celebrity. He went to the Blue Jays game.
Okay, J-Rob, listen to me, J-Rob, okay? It just started. This ain't even the beginning of it. We ain't even close to the beginning, right? There's a whole memoir of what this is gonna be. What am I have to deal with this dude, right? This is just the beginning of it, right? So we already start. I've already started. I've already heard when the draft started that Toronto got a dick pic. We already know that. See, this is what I'm talking about.
If you go to my TikTok, you go to my TikTok.
This is what and just so you know, J-Rob, we haven't even started this whole thing yet, right? So before we let the show go any further, I just want you to know this ain't even the beginning of this. So I'm just letting you know what I'm gonna have to deal with.
Yes. And for anyone asking, I am 12. Okay, thank you. There you go. Okay, but anyway, so thank you, Mars, for actually answering the question. Anybody else?
I'm gonna go.
So when we say stuff like a floor, does that mean this is probably the worst he's gonna be?
Yeah, at worst, this will be so the same way Amen Thompson at worst is John Wall.
Right.
That's what the floor.
Yeah.
So a guy like I personally think this kid Podzemski, I really dig him. Wallace, on the other hand, the small guy. I can't say small because he ain't that much bigger than me, but I dig this kid that Golden State drafted. Now Grady, on the other hand, he looks to me, to be honest with you, like Austin Reeves. That's what he looks to me like. He looks like Austin Reeves, except maybe a better athlete,
a little bigger,
maybe a better athlete. Because he don't look much better than Austin Reeves.
Bob, Shiloh, Damo, what is Wallace's floor? Give me a player comparison to his floor.
I like Wallace actually a lot. I'll be honest, because I like the 2-way. I'm big into he plays some bona fide defense on the perimeter, and I think in today's game it translates well. I think if his offensive game comes along, I think he could actually be pretty damn good.
Marcus Smart.
Yep, the floor Marcus Smart.
Floor Marcus Smart.
Wow. But floor might be crazy. But I mean,
yeah. Oh no. I wouldn't say
how
floor.
much you stake you put into Marcus Smart's offensive game, though.
Davion Mitchell is the floor. Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, I like Davion Mitchell a little bit more.
Well, wait a minute though, Mars, because that's a little bit premature because we don't know who Davion Mitchell is. I think Davion Mitchell is a starter in the league. And
right now, Davion.
We think it's today.
as a
yeah, his floor is
So I'll say that's his floor. Yeah,
but I like Davion Mitchell.
Marcus Smart is like
though.
mid.
So do I.
He can get up to Marcus Smart
because I like the defense from both of them.
They got
I think
high
he'll
on
be better
Davion
than
Mitchell.
Marcus Smart.
Brady, okay.
So
what about Brady?
He's even a little
saying,
bigger
like, Marcus Smart to me is
I do
mid.
think the
Smart
ceiling though
is
for Wallace is like a Drew Holiday.
That's his ceiling.
That's his ceiling. I think that's like if he peaks out, I think like a Drew Holiday type player because I really love his defense.
Anywhere from Davion Mitchell now to possible Drew Holiday.
Yeah. I said Marcus Smart is like mid. It's like to me, it's
mid,
like middle, then then high.
Like Grady. What's Grady's floor?
Grady's floor. I'm about to say Grady's probably the only prospect I'm like familiar with after the three. His floor, I don't know if his floor is Austin Reeves because that's in my opinion, that's a pretty high floor. His floor,
JJ Barea.
Y'all about to say JJ Redick?
Yeah, like maybe JJ Redick.
JJ Redick, that's a high floor too. So like if Grady did, I mean,
I also don't think Dick was the best shooter in the draft like everybody thinks he was.
I don't think he was. I think Jordan Hawkins is the best shooter in the draft.
He's top 3 shooters in the draft for sure.
I think his floor is a better.
I think like Duncan Robinson. No. Duncan Robinson, maybe.
I think he was better.
But he could put the ball in the deck. He put the ball in the deck better than Duncan can. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's why better Duncan Robinson. Yeah. Just so we know, we can compare this guy to black people as well. Just like it doesn't mean.
Maybe Malik Beasley. Maybe
there we go.
Well, Malik Beasley's good. Malik Beasley's probably the floor. That's probably the floor.
Maybe Malik Beasley could be his floor.
Yeah, you can compare him to black people.
You can only compare him to like.
Just need to compare him to white people. Like he can be.
We was definitely doing that.
I never compared Bird to nobody black, yo. Unfortunately,
maybe. Gordon Hayward with a real 3-point shot.
I'm seeing a floor of Grayson Allen, if anything. Grayson Allen.
Well, I'm not mad at that.
I like Malik Beasley.
No, I think he's better than that.
Maybe like a Luke Kennard.
For floor, I think
floor of Adam Morrison. Floor of Adam Morrison.
I would say his ceiling's probably like an untapped potential Charlie Brown.
Brown. Focus, Tone.
Next super chat. No, next super chat. You guys ruined that one for drink more water. All right, Dropping Dimes says, as an NBA community, can we stop overhyping up combo guards who are just heavy ISO scorers and nothing else, i.e. Cam Thomas, Jordan Poole, Jalen Green?
Keep Jalen Green out of there. I don't see
overhyped though.
Say it again.
Jordan Poole's a world champion that averaged 20 points on the world champion team. Man, shut up, man. Dude's on no basketball.
I feel him, but you got to keep Jalen Green out of that group right there.
Cam Thomas is the only one who belongs in that group. I'm gonna be honest. Jordan Poole's not even a heavy ISO scorer.
I'm not gonna violate Jordan Poole like that either. Yeah, I agree with Mars on
that. Forget the names for a second. Do we overhype combo guards who are just ISO scorers? Forget the names.
No,
I don't think so.
I personally don't think so.
First and foremost, Cam Thomas is not a
people do, but generally, no.
I don't think Cam Thomas is a. First of all, combo guards is a guy who does this and that. Cam Thomas is not a. Cam Thomas is not a league. He's not a lead guard. Same thing with Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole is not a lead guard. He plays off the basketball, so he's not a combo guard. That's not true. Jalen Green also is another one who is not a lead guard. He plays off the bat. He plays with the basketball, but without the ball. But he's more of a scorer than he is a combo guard. He doesn't distribute like that.
I think what he means when he says combo guard is just they're too small to be like legitimate twos. Like
so a tweener.
Yeah, I think that's what he's meaning by combo. I'm assuming,
and just,
I don't think he's calling them combo guards.
Like if we are forgetting about the names though, that prototype, that player right there though, that 6'2", 6'3", can't really run the offense, run around, shoot 7-8 threes a game. That player is overhyped and has been overhyped for a while. That's like that.
We don't need it.
I don't think they're overhyped though.
Because it's overhyped. What are you doing? If you run around, you don't play a lick of defense. You don't play a lick of defense. You might get 3 assists, but you shoot. I don't know why. Kids don't play defense no more. And if you 6'2", you can't guard nobody. You shoot 6-7 threes a game. But what are we doing with you? Like you only here to sell tickets, which is important.
He said ISO scorer. He said ISO scorer. He didn't say shooter. Like aren't you describing Dwayne Wade? What was he? 6'2", 6'3"?
Ooh, but Dwayne
Couldn't
Wade did
lead
more than
I
that.
don't think I just
Nah,
I ain't just
D-Wade-
described. I ain't just described D-Wade.
D-Wade
was
could be-
D-Wade 6'4", 6'5", 6'4".
And
On top
he
of that,
could be a lead guard.
he played a lot of defense.
But he defense, but he
wasn't-
said he couldn't guard. Why can't he guard? That was my question. Why can't he guard?
So
I don't know why these
we
guys
could
can't
get
guard.
we could
This
get
is-
to the
But
bottom.
That's
We
like
can get to the
like
bottom of the
that's
Dwayne
like-
Wade
this is where-
hype right now. Let's get
it's
to
like
the
a
bottom of the
Monte
Dwayne
Ellis.
Wade
That's
hype right
a
now.
Monte Ellis.
Yes. How tall is Dwayne Wade? Please tell us. Chill.
6'4". I thought he was at 6'4".
Yeah, I thought like 6'3", 6'4".
6'3".
Yeah, I thought he was 6'3", honestly.
No. You say
I
6'3".
don't think he's the same height as Steph. I don't.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
think Steph is 6'3" either.
I don't know.
Don't forget
Tall,
they
What
go
Ox
ahead.
explained to me
Chill,
sounds
chill,
more
madam,
like
chill,
a
madam.
Monte
Tell
Ellis.
us, Chill.
So Tone, how tall did you say I am? 100%.
100% you are 6'4".
Okay, so that's Dwayne Wade right there. Hold on.
There you go. There's Chill and Dwayne Wade.
Basically the
And
same
Chill
size.
is, I'm rounding up to 6'4" for Chill.
This one Chill didn't have no grades.
Now you
Yeah,
rounded
Chill's-
it up.
Chill is 6'3" and 7/8". So Dwayne Wade is 6'4" and 1/7. Okay, there you go. Thank you.
I refuse to believe Chilltown existed without being old.
He was born with grays.
Yeah, he just spawned in
I'll
our
tell you, I'll tell you. I'm 6'3". I am 6'3", and when Chill and I stood next to each other, he is like a finger width, whatever, this like much taller than me. So he is he's over 6'3". So Dwayne Wade is no way over 6'4". He's 6'4" and partial inches.
Well, either way, the game I'm talking about is different. Like I think we're talking about other things. D-Wade did a lot more than just dribble around. You know what I'm saying? Like
Someone you explain.
He definitely played on both ends of the floor as well. I could go with that.
Actually,
I could say Monte. I could
Monte
say
Ellis
Monte.
is someone who
I don't really-
only scored really. But
I
I don't
don't
think he's
really
overhyped.
mind. I don't really mind if you're an ISO scorer. To me, it only matters to me if you're not going and play defense on the other end. Because if you're a good ISO scorer, that's what you do. You're great at it. I'm cool as long as you like making shots and stuff. But if you can't guard on the other end, I think that's when it becomes you're a little too one-dimensional for me.
But what type of ISO player are we talking about?
surprised
J-Rob?
you
Are we talking about
Carmelo
that ball
Anthony.
stopper when we run an offense and you catch the ball in the wing and you supposed to be swinging it, but you just can't help?
Yeah,
You
sometimes
gotta
you're a
dribble.
black hole.
You got to
No,
take
there's some
3-4
guys that are
dribbles
black
every
holes.
time.
Yeah, there's some guys once they get the ball, you know, the ball completely stops in one place. You know, I mean, you could say Melo at some points, with that
Like
type of
Carmelo
player.
Anthony.
And I love Melo. You know, I'm a Knicks fan. I love
Overhyped.
Melo, but
Melo's
but
overhyped.
the issue,
You're right.
The issue with Melo is, you know, Melo. I could be okay with Melo stopping the offense to get a bucket because he really was that great of a bucket. But my issue was he was not going to play no defense either, and so that's where I'm like, I'm not. If I gotta give, you gotta give to get, you know, and if you're gonna be a ball stopper on offense. I feel like personally for a team that I want to have, or if I'm a coach, you need to be able to go out there and play defense as well. And I think that's important.
Flo, you're disgusting. Because I heard you're disrespectful to Carmelo all the time. I know. You knew it was going to wake me up. And I'm going to say this to J-Rob. Most players play like that in that era. You had most of those guys were ISO type players. Jordan, all those guys. In those eras, most of the guys, most teams, T-Mac, Vince, all these dudes, you pretty much gave them the ball, got out the way, and let them do what they do, and they created for pretty much everybody else. So to say, try to put that on Melo, and this is why I said that Fluent is so nasty. He's up there in Toronto. He watched Vince Carter play like that. They're not putting no defense on Melo for years, but never criticized Vince.
Ticket, I think it's ticket. Where's that ticket?
Ticket, we got it.
Ticket.
You try to say it's mine, Stuck. It's not mine.
That was me. I'm sorry. I'm good.
No, you're wrong and shut your mouth. It wasn't
I
me.
apologize. I'm good.
What I was saying to Fluent, though.
Who are you talking to? What the
As I was saying, yeah, you said my name. Yeah, Chicken, it wasn't me. Be quiet. You wrong.
Relax, relax. The energy, relax, brother. Relax, brother.
Back to you, Fluent. I ain't never gonna relax on a chump like you. But back to you, Fluent. Like I said, dog.
You don't even show your
at the
face.
end of the
You don't even
day,
show
at the
your
end of the
face,
day,
kid. You don't
at
even show
the end
your
of the
face.
day, Fluent. Hey, you're not worthy to see it. You're not worthy to see it. You ain't on my level. You ain't on my level, boy. You ain't on my level. Go make some money. Go make some money and then we'll talk. Go make some money and then we'll talk. Go make some money and then we'll talk.
Ticket cook
I can look at your shirt.
This ain't a Ron show. I'll boot you out of here quick. Let's go. What were we saying, Ticket? What are you saying about Melo? Go defend Melo.
No, I'm just saying that it's funny to me how you always take that gripe at Melo, but you never say that about Vince.
That's true.
Vince Carter plays Toronto. He never ever disrespect Vince Carter.
I don't do that. You're right. Mars, my beef is with you. Don't disrespect Kobe with that nonsense. Mars, wake up. Mars, wake up. I don't know. I wasn't
What
here.
nonsense?
What did you say about Kobe?
When I said Kawhi was better than him.
You said Kawhi was better than Kobe?
Hey, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 Defensive Player of the Years. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, accolades are all that matters. All right, cool.
I mean, it has to be.
Rappers, not felons. Say it again, and I'll turn into a felon. Next. Jay does it? Jay does it. Oh, Jay does it. All right, 15. Vince Carter's number, 15. Calling an NBA player a casual is stupid. Cut it out.
Yeah, Tone, you was early. I mean, you was late, Tone.
Tell me about that, because NBA players can't be casuals. Facts. Why?
Yeah, I agree with that. There's NBA players who really, if they weren't tall and played basketball, they would not be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think every NBA player in the league.
Hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. What exactly is a casual? So we clear.
Well, when I'm saying casual, I'm talking about in terms of like talking basketball, like not what they're doing on the court. I'm saying if we're just having basketball conversations.
That's all we're doing. We talking basketball. We ain't talking about on the floor. We talking about on the court.
We're just talking ball. I do think some NBA players could be casuals, because I know there's definitely NBA players, even in the NFL, like they don't follow the game the same way no more.
They don't consume the game like that.
Like for example, yesterday I met Martellus Bennett, and he went from Super Bowls to like he go to art museums and stuff now. He probably don't consume football the same way he used to. So if we were to have like a conversation, he might not still be in tune with everything that's going on because he's in other ventures and stuff. So that's what I mean by that. That's
what I want to kind of get into, because I feel like certain players you can be good, but they're not fully invested into following the game as much. Like someone like Joker. If you ask Joker, I'm not saying he doesn't have no IQ or anything, but you think Joker is like doing what, like we're doing research in the game, looking at past players, what they did.
This is the thing. It sounds like what you call casuals is them knowing like about the history of the NBA or whatever. Like if you had a conversation about basketball, they'll start bringing up delay cards, horns, pistol, all of that. Like they know the game.
Yeah.
They don't care about the NBA.
I'm talking about the history.
You can be an NBA casual but still know the game of basketball.
That's exactly what I mean.
That's what the casual. Yeah, I think there's plenty of NBA casual. Like Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like they know the game of basketball.
Some like Joker, I think is an NBA casual. Joker doesn't have nothing about the NBA.
You guys are also talking about superstars. There are guys who are the 12th, 13th, 14th.
Yeah, there's probably players who don't know basketball as well. That's probably like probably exist. I don't know them, but
I completely disagree with the Joker logic. Joker, you cannot be that. You cannot be that good and not be invested.
Yes, he's invested.
100% cares about the NBA. He might leave it at the door. He might leave it at the door when he's done. But when he walks through the door, he does go home and do his homework. Let's make sure we clear on that. Joker is not this dude that's just punching the clock, and when he's done, he's leaving. No, he cares about the game. He actually studies film. Not only does he study film, he studies players. He studies players not just on film, even when he's on the floor. He does all of that stuff. I'm not buying the whole logic that Joker, once he just leaves the floor, all right, I'm out and I don't even touch a basketball. Nah, he doesn't. There's no way you sell it, because you can't be that good and just leave it at the gig. You can't.
Is it possible he only knows his system? Is it possible he only knows his system? Go ahead.
Yeah, Shallow.
I'm saying, like, all right, when I say casual, do you think Joker could like come in here and answer these super chats about, oh, who's better, this player, or name a team who like was one piece away? I feel like that's like things like that he wouldn't know. Like, he's not thinking about things like that. I feel like that's when I had casual. I feel like somebody who consumes the NBA product, not like his plays, like the NBA product on a casual level. They don't look too deep into stuff. Someone like us, where people are asking like very specific super chat questions, I don't think he will sit here and answer those all. He's not that invested into,
which is fair.
Like that.
Which is fair. Go ahead.
Watch this. Just watch this. Here's an easy example, and I know he hasn't played an NBA game yet, but still, if you were to ask one of us who the GOAT is, and let's say J. Rob said Paul George, what would everyone call him?
The casual.
Crazy.
But yet the second overall pick said Paul George. You have guys in the NBA saying it's Kobe. Not that Kobe doesn't have every right to, but you know what I'm saying? It's if some of them gave the takes that if we gave some of the takes that the NBA players gave, people would rip them and call them casuals. Right. So that's all I'm saying, is that NBA players can be as casual as a non-NBA player.
But with that being said, hold on, Ticket. I'm gonna let you cook, Ticket, no doubt. But You got to remember, Shallow, what we were talking about. We were talking about KD and how he came at low. And he said the way we analyze the game. This wasn't about super chats, right? This is about how we analyze the game, which a lot of people think that are casuals. I look at Joker, and I look at Joker as a guy who is that good. He's studying film. He's going. He's watching himself play. He's working on his game. So Joker at any point is not just leaving the job at the job. He might not talk about it 24/7, but 100% he is not a casual. Now it's a difference between sitting in here and talking between us and reading super chats and me being able to tell you who led the league in scoring in 1987, 88 and won the league MVP. That does not make me a casual if I can tell you who led the league in rebounding in 86, but it also doesn't make me a casual if I can't tell you how to do rebounds or something like that.
Who did lead the league in rebounds in 1986?
Who led the league in rebounding in 1986? I think it was Olajuwon.
When did Moses? Yeah, I think Moses.
I think it was Moses Malone. It makes it 1986.
But some guys now, Ticket. And I'm gonna ask you too, Ticket. Even you too, Chill. I want to ask y'all because I've definitely heard a lot of people say it though. Like when basketball turned into their job, when they left college, when they start playing pro ball, a lot of guys lose the love for the game when it becomes a job. Like it's and you know some people like there's a lot of people that will never lose a love for the game. Like I'm one of those people. Like even as long as I can walk, I'm at least gonna go shoot around at the park. Like I gotta play ball. I can't not play ball. But a lot of people I've heard that's like, so once I got a lot of people feel like once I got to that level, it was just too much. Like it was too much. Basketball wasn't basketball anymore. I had to answer questions, had to sign autographs, had to do a bunch of stuff, had to be here, be there. I couldn't just play ball no more. So I think a lot of people get to that level and they just kind of got to step away. Like, I'll play, but I can't consume it as much as like I do, as much as a lot of us do up here now. We consume it a lot more. I think a lot of guys that's turned pro, that's been in there a long time, they're kind of burnt out. Like, man, I just can't, do it to this level. So like I think one of y'all was saying, like, I think that was you, Shiloh, to where it's like, am I watching the game every day? Am I doing this? Am I watching podcasts? No, but I still know ball. Like I know if we can get on the court. I could run the camp. I could run the training. I can run the practice.
You can talk about how basketball works, but you might not know.
That's basketball. Yeah, right. I'm talking about NBA. That basketball knowledge. Yeah, I feel like they have that. I feel like I don't know, NBA and casual to me is not a bad term. Like people use casual as like derogatory term. I don't use it like that, but I feel like if you're not fully invested into something, then you're that's different from a casual. You're just not.
We've turned it into a bad term.
We've turned it into bad. Yeah. I don't see it as bad.
I casually watch baseball. Right. I'm not into it.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. No. Ticket. Go ahead. Ticket.
No, Ticket, real quick. I want to know, Ticket. Can you?
I'm gonna ask you a question. I want to address something Tone said too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to know how you felt about that.
I totally agree with Bob what he said. I've seen players like that too, bro. It all depends on your mindset. Like when we was growing up, everybody loved going to the park. Nobody had to pay you to go to the park, do this, get up every day, go play all day, do whatever. You love the game. You love being with your boys. You love playing ball. You couldn't wait to get back out there. Didn't matter if you were hurt. Didn't matter. Bro, it was days I twisted my ankle bad. It was days I was hurt. I still wanted to go to the park because everybody was going to be up there balling. I didn't want to miss it. It changes when you become a professional because now you put business into it. Now you put cutthroat stuff into it. Now you put agents into it. Now you put a whole lot more pressure into it. And guys don't like dealing with all that other stress alongside the game. Now to deal with what Tone said about the casuals, bro, we got to remember one thing or two things. First of all, most of these guys that we're talking are young and they didn't see the other guys coming up. They only saw the guys that they watched growing up. So we can't basically get mad at them because of what they saw. And secondly, we got to think about it like this too, man. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, bro. A lot of the guys that are playing, we can't call them casuals because they're pretty much caught up into whatever they got going on or whatever they're like. If you're in the NBA right now, you're focused on all the teams you got to play and the guys you got to play against. You ain't thinking about the history of the game and all this other stuff right now. You're focused on whatever your team mission is. And so those guys are deeply dived into that. So it's not fair.
But that's why they're NBA casual though. That's to me, that's why they're NBA casual.
Hold on. But
that's okay. It's not a bad thing. That's what I'm saying.
Hold on, it's not a casual. Hold on one second. It's not a casual. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying it's not a casual. For example, if Tone works for a computer company, right? But he knows about fixing toilets, but he knows a lot about fixing toilets, but he get paid to work on the computers. We can't say, oh, well, you just a casual working on toilets because you get paid. No, them guys get paid to play in the NBA. So they're paid to work, focus on the scouting reports they got now.
Basketball and knowing the NBA is different.
Oh, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing what I'm saying. You're not hearing what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying.
Take it. Hold on. So here's the thing, though. What you said is very valid. Is that once you become that professional, and listen, we all know guys who like went from loving basketball, like playing in university, you could still go to keg parties, you could do fun, you didn't have to worry about money. Then you go into the NBA, and you got to pay taxes, and you got to pay taxes in 26 different states, and you got to worry about your agent, and there's endorsement deals, and your coach is doing this, and you got to work out these days. We get it, all those commitments, and sometimes it becomes a job, and it takes away. To your point, you said. They focus on what they have to do on their team, on their playbook, on their whatever. And so what are they doing with the other teams? Well, they're casually watching the rest of the NBA. By definition,
that's a casual.
Casuals of the NBA.
Oh, no, I'm not bad thing. I'm not saying that to you, Tone. I'm not saying that to you. What I'm saying to you is this, Tone. I'm saying that they could know about most of the league. I'm just saying most of the time, if I'm paying you to do this, your time is going to be focused on doing this and on this. I'm not saying that because let me say this and I'm finished. To put that on Jokic to make it seem like he just because we look at him and see, I got my gripe with Jokic on other things during the season, but the one thing I think is always bad to do is to judge a book by its cover. So to look at Jokic and to say, "Oh man, he couldn't come up here and answer these questions," you never know. He can come up here and know all this shit, and make us all look stupid. But so you can't put that jacket on somebody that you don't know. That's all I'm saying.
And that's the point of the super chat is to assume that they're not casuals just because they play in the NBA is just as bad as to assume they are casuals because they play in the NBA. Both are incorrect. You don't know. Each person is different was the point. Thank you. This is for you too, Mars. Crazy, I'm sure. Kawhi and KD better than Kobe is just insane. Facts. We're gonna put Mars in the straight jacket.
KD has the MVP. Kawhi has 2 Defensive Player of the Years. If they had Shaq as well, they'd have 3 championships. I mean,
Kobe has 5.
This is Mars's logic, and Mars think he's slick, right? Mars's logic is based on what everybody else is saying. He really doesn't believe this.
No, not at all.
He doesn't. He's just saying that because that's what everybody else saying, and he's trolling.
All right,
that's why he's saying that.
We're moving off.
I've heard Mars. No one's made to argue against it.
What that was that Mars just said is absolutely the casual take. And I've heard Mars talk basketball, and that's not a Mars take. That's a casual take. But wait a minute, you got more finals. You got the same amount of finals MVPs as he's got. You got two more defensive players of the years, and you're not digging into the game at all. That's not who Mars is. Mars is going off the masses, and in the process of going off the masses, he's trolling at the same time. Don't think we don't know who you are.
Chill basically said Chill is not falling for those trolling games.
No one's been able to prove it wrong. So I mean,
Chill is not falling for those trolling games.
No one's giving me a reason why it could be better.
The almighty Lambo says that's why KD comment about just good or bad is stupid because we know they're all good. We have to separate them in terms of who's better than who.
That make no sense.
A whole bunch of players will be like, all right, y'all all good. Well,
good and bad.
How we gonna figure out who better?
No talking basketball no more. That's say a player, he's good.
Right.
Oh, he's bad.
Nice.
And it'd be no conversation. Like, okay,
just do that. No.
Like what?
Did I miss the conversation? Did you talk about KD joining that? And was that like a good thing or like a sensitivity thing?
Yeah.
Talk about that already?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back and watch it later. Oh, I like this one. Who is this? J-Rob? No. Yeah, J-Rob. Oh, J-Rob's burner. This is your burner, bro. Thoughts on Dennis Rodman? You didn't know you had a burner. Thoughts on Dennis Rodman saying Larry Bird couldn't play in today's NBA? I think he's lost his mind.
Actually took it. He didn't say he couldn't play in the NBA. He said he'd be in Europe.
Yeah, no. Well, this is the reason why I think he said that. A lot of guys couldn't play today's NBA because they wouldn't like how today's NBA is played. They wouldn't be able to relate to how today's NBA is played. Like Trey Western said the other day, I hate this NBA. Just come there and jack up a bunch of threes. That's not basketball. So a lot of those guys, they couldn't want to play in this NBA because they wouldn't respect this type of basketball that's being played. Just drive and kick it out to 3-point shooters, and whoever make the most threes win the game. No, it's bullshit.
That's not what Dennis Rodman was trying to say.
No, I'm telling you.
Dennis Rodman might need to go to rehab or something. That's just
Larry Bird just isn't good enough.
What he said is he tripping.
Rod just joking. Man.
If Bird can't play in today's game, Dennis, what is your role in today's game?
Oh, Dennis Rodman ain't in today's game either.
Say it again.
People were saying like, isn't that ironic?
Dennis Rodman isn't playing today either.
That's why it's so funny. Who's it?
Because there's no way you can look at there's no way you can look at Bird's skill set, just his skill set alone, and then add in how intelligent he is that he couldn't play in today's game and be elite. There's no way that you can look at him.
What was the logic?
Dennis Rodman today.
He could be a
Dennis Rodman today. Dennis Rodman today is a Reggie Evans.
Dennis could play.
Dennis is a Reggie Evans of today.
I just think the only reason Rodman said that it had to be a jab at Bird's athleticism.
Hold on, J Rob. You heard this man, J Rob. You heard this man just say, hold on, chill. I heard you say that shit. Chill. This man just said, and this is why, and Shallow. This is not respectfully. You should never be on basketball panel ever. You just compared him to Reggie Evans, dog. You said he'll be Reggie Evans today, bro. Slap yourself, bro. Slap yourself, bro.
What did you just say, Charlotte?
He said he said
I say he'll be Reggie Evans.
I think that's a compliment. Reggie Evans had like a 10-year career. Dennis Rodman would have had.
How crazy it is him saying that.
Mars, stop trolling, Mars.
It's all right over your head. My point is, as crazy as him saying that he can't play today is me saying that he's Reggie Evans. Like,
so say that, Shallow. Don't leave it there, because that's not what you did, Shallow.
Don't leave it there, bro.
That's what I said. Like, it's like ironic coming from Dennis Rodman. Like, if Larry Bird can't play, then who are you, Reggie Evans? Like. That's I said that. It's like
that makes more sense as opposed to you just leaving it there. That's what it sounds like.
I'm trolling.
That's what it sounds like. Because Mars, I want to make sure we clear on one thing. Dennis Rodman coming out of college, even though it was a lower level school, Dennis Rodman coming out of college averaged 26 a game. So he could score the basketball. So it wasn't like Dennis was just a putback guy. Dennis was a great transition player in college. Dennis had a really good mid-range game. He could shoot the basketball. And that could have translated to the pro level, only except he played on a team where he was pegged as the dirty work guy. Now, if he would have went somewhere where they would have asked him to score, knowing Dennis and his work ethic, Dennis would have worked on his game offensively and became a better scorer in the NBA. But you see, when he came into the NBA, he was not a great rebounder. He was not a great defender, but he developed those skills because that's the crew that he was on. So if he got into the NBA today, coming out of college, averaging 26 a game, and you asked him to develop his scoring, he would do that.
He ain't playing in today's game.
Yeah. Absolutely. They both are. Larry Bird's MVP in today's game. You know, it's funny. People forget what you do in the NBA is sometimes predicated on the system you're in, the team that you're on, and what you have to do. Because I hate to say it because it's Gilbert Arenas and he has a lot of bad takes. But Gilbert Arenas made a very good point. He was talking to Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley is known for defense, right? Can't score. In Chicago, he was averaging, I believe in high school, 37 a game. Kid could score. He could score. But you have to change who you are to be in the NBA. So
that's why Larry Bird could be a good spot-up shooter in today's game. I think he can do.
Tony, Looney playing like Kevin Durant in high school. Now he playing like goddamn on boom chick.
There you go.
Here's glass cleaner. And Ticket, I don't know nothing about Kevin Looney in high school, but I heard he
watch his high school highlights on YouTube. He played just like K. You be like, what?
Kevin Looney was dumb nice in high school. Dumb
bro,
nice.
Kevin Durant in high school, bro. Pulling up from anywhere.
There's hella players that were like insane in high school, and then obviously when they get to the league, you know, they got to service a role, so it's almost not the same.
All right. Alan R says Miller said LeBron is the GOAT, but PG is his.
So he's wrong twice. That's crazy.
That's like over two. That's like saying this is the best. This is the best player ever, but this is my favorite player. That's what that sounds like to me.
But that's not what he said. But okay, TMF Willie, y'all saw what Aja Wilson said to
Asia.
Oh, easy. Whoa. We don't have those names in Canada. Said, is there something I missed? Was that a thing, or was she just being corny?
I don't know.
I think Willie's completely like missing it. So I think they played against.
Fill us in, because I don't know what happened.
I just think Michael was just trolling her, like, because New York. I think they played each other in New York one, and literally, I just think they were just tweeting at each other, and I think he's just kind of overthinking it. I think they're like actually friends.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
From
Yeah, they were just
J-Rob knows. That might be a new show. J-Rob knows.
You know, you feel
all
me?
right. Big fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Smart players have careers after playing, coaches, etc.
Correct. They do. And not only do they have careers in coaching, they also have careers in other things. I mean, Vinny Johnson. I mean, we ain't talking about just basketball. I mean, Vinny Johnson, I think his net worth is like $400 million. So,
he like 100 times what he made in the NBA.
Yeah,
from
like
his
$400
investment
million.
in business.
So
Yeah,
these guys are a lot smarter than we give them credit for. A lot smarter than we give them credit for. So,
Some of them.
Yes.
Conspiral. Who's
we actually getting into that. We're going to talk about that.
We're gonna talk about it right now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna.
All right. Who's beating this? Point guard, Magic. Shooting guard, Bill Russell. Small forward, Wilt Chamberlain. Power forward, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Center, Shaq.
No. Any top 10 shooting team.
The Houston Rockets beat that team.
Detroit beats them.
Any good 3-point shooting team, any decent 3-point shooting team beats that.
Yeah,
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if Detroit beats. I don't know if Detroit used to beats this team. Honestly,
put those guys in the post. That whole story is different now. That's the difference. You saying shooting, but if you put those guys
on the perimeter and guard and pick and roll is different too.
But it's easier. Well, hold on. It's easier because you can just step back and let them shoot the ball. But if they got to guard you in the post, this is where they're going to pick up fouls and be in foul trouble. Imagine having to guard Shaq in the post at the center position. Imagine having to guard Wilt in the post and them guys just posting you up. So yeah, you know you can shoot the ball. Huh?
They're all four in the post?
No, I'm saying if they're taking turns, let's just say, all right, Will, you go down this time. Bro, guess what? Wilt's man is fouling out. Shaq's man is fouling out, especially if they're little guards. They're fouling out. They're getting dunked on. It's humiliation. So you might hit a couple threes.
What if you send all 5 players to the paint?
Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell are
going to see a crossover and their brain will explode. Like,
I got this team beating Detroit. Sure.
Killian Hayes drops 50 on this team.
No, he does not.
The Magic beats this team.
I don't like this team at all.
I don't like this team. Bobo's getting shut down in this game.
I'm telling you, ticket.
Bobo don't get nothing in this game, bro.
Bobo can guard Kareem. They match up height wise, right?
With J-Rob
and James Wiseman clamps up Shaq, to be honest.
I thought okay. I see you. I see Shalom.
But but Flo, what are we gonna do if one of us catch these guys in the post, though, dog?
We're dead.
Send all 5 players to the paint.
There's no answer. I'll say there's no answer.
That's quadruple team them. They can't shoot.
But I will say this.
They can't shoot.
Hack Shaq. We can hack Shaq.
But you keep saying they can't shoot, Mars. How am I going to stop Chamberlain from getting in the lane?
Right. You don't have to shoot.
How am I going to stop Jabbar from getting in the lane?
If he gets the ball, you send every defender at him.
He trapping everything.
Wilt and Kareem both had serviceable mid-range jump shots.
Bob, don't stop right there.
I'm living with
Bob.
the mid-range.
You
jump
can't
shot.
live with it. You're not gonna get the rebound.
Hey, Bob, if they're guards, Bob, if they're guards, if they're guards and they're trapping 7-footers, that don't mean nothing because they're guards. All he's doing is looking over top of them. So it's gonna be don't shoot all day.
This team is weak compared to all-time teams.
With the exception,
this team is weak, but this isn't.
Hold on. With the exception of Magic, who leads the NBA in all-time turnovers per game, Russell can't dribble, Wilt can't dribble, Kareem can't dribble, Shaq can't dribble. Like, I'm sorry, they put it on the floor.
Logic that Wilt can't dribble. Wilt played for the Harlem Globetrotters. Let's stop talking about Wilt like he ain't super skilled. Yes, he is.
He was skilled for the segregation era. Good for him.
Y'all never had to practice. Y'all never had to practice with no dribbles. Like y'all never had to move out the ball.
They'd have to play no dribble. Just hold the ball up high.
No. We can play that. What I'm saying is this. These guys are all 7 feet tall in all athletic. They don't. I don't 6'10", 7 feet Mars.
No, that's not the same thing.
Okay, it doesn't have to be 7, but for whatever, they're 7. They're all 7. They're all 7 feet tall, right? All right. Anyways, so they're all 7. They're all 7 foot tall guys, right? You can't stop these guys from catching the ball, opening it up, and just passing. You don't got that's the thing. Basketball, you talk about these guys can't dribble. You don't have to be able to dribble to play basketball.
At some point, they have to dribble.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Jaylen Brown. You don't need to.
I don't know about that.
Look at
I mean,
Brown.
obviously, but look, obviously, you're gonna dribble a few times. You're gonna dribble a few times. But for the most part, y'all never. So you're telling me y'all never have ran a fast break offense where we're not dribbling the ball at all.
We're just fast break the whole game.
That's like 5 possessions. But listen, that's not most of the game though. That's like a couple possessions.
They can't do that the whole game. They can't do
that the whole game.
I mean, I beg to differ. But
I like Bill Russell at the small forward.
We've actually had practices like that.
Just for the record, Bill Russell 6'10", but back then they measured them barefoot, no shoes. So you got to add an inch or two for everybody.
Hey, Flo, let me ask you one question before you leave this.
Yeah.
Let's just say that you have to guard the perimeter, right? Wouldn't you give them a better chance at contesting and closing out with the length and the athleticism that those guys have with Wilt, Russell, Kareem, and Shaq, as far as them being able to close airspace and contest in the three-point line? Wouldn't they have a better chance because if those guys are footers like Wilt, like Kareem, like Shaq? Now, even if I'm playing you in a zone defense, man, and you talking about getting out to that corner, it's different when you got a 7-footer coming at you with over a 7-foot wingspan, putting that arm out there on the perimeter.
Y'all talking like these guys are this big.
Watch when you give Wilt Chamberlain in and out and his ankles explode.
I will see.
He's got a 7-footer behind him.
Explode.
Oh, and then guess what? You go behind the back and his brain explodes too. So now where do we go?
You never seen these moves before. You want to see moves? Whoa, what is this?
Never seen anybody crossover go behind the back.
I like my chances if I'm a good shooting team with a little bit of height and some length that could pack in the paint. I like my chances of me out shooting this team if I can force them to take a bunch of shots outside of the key. Now, can I keep them outside of the key without fouling out? That's going to be
I was saying that's the question.
No,
that's the real question.
Bill Russell shot 40% at the rim anyway, so I mean, just leave him.
I'm not worried about
which was the going rate.
What are we going to do about?
Yeah, exactly. That's how trash
I'm worried about
nothing.
Shaq.
Absolutely nothing.
I would say there's nothing to do with Shaq. My issue is there's no answer for Shaq
or Kareem.
Or
Kareem sky hooking from the mid.
But Shaq alone is like, bro, we could put bodies on him.
Where does Wilt Chamberlain stand? Where does Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem stand when Shaq is posting up?
They do
four corners. What does Bill Russell stand?
They're just doing that cutting offense, cutting.
They do
just moving. I mean, this team is a horrible all-time team. I'm with that. Like, I feel y'all on that. All I'm saying is this team, they could get some things done, and they would definitely beat Detroit and Houston.
They got the most advantages because the small guys can't get to the rim. So you got to hit all your shots.
So did we have a death lineup? Did we all? Do
you hit all your shots, though?
Did I hit all my shots?
No, I'm saying you could put a team together. I'm saying, did your team hit all the shots? Because if you miss, you're not going to rebound.
We got one shot. Yeah, we got one shot. We're not getting the offensive board. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, we got one shot.
You got one shot, though. If you don't make it, you're not getting the rebound.
Well, technically, we'd have to be the Miami Heat this playoffs, right? 50% from three, they win. Anything less, they lose. That's who we'd be.
Hey, Tom, you got something personal against Carmelo?
55% for three.
Do you have something personal against Carmelo? I always want to ask you that because you never criticized Vince, and he played sort of like Carmelo. I want to ask you that question. Like, why do you never criticize Vince Carter and he never did anything? He played sort of like, I want to know that. I want to know the answer.
I'll tell you what my issue is with Carmelo. Here's my issue with Carmelo. Carmelo should have been the best player, if not a super, 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 super close second best player to come out of that draft, and he wasn't. And he wasn't because he focused on doing one thing and one thing alone, scoring by himself. And I think if Carmelo would have developed his game defensively, would have developed his game as a playmaker, we should be talking about Carmelo like we talk about LeBron, and we don't. And I think it's because he just was like, hey, I'm a really good scorer, so that's what I'm going to do. That's my issue with Carmelo.
But didn't they say the same thing about Vince? Didn't Vince have the same career as Carmelo, even though Carmelo had a better career than Vince?
I criticize Vince. I don't criticize Vince's game as much as I criticize his mentality. And if you hear me,
but he played the same as Carmelo, though. He ISO guy, didn't get a lot of assists, didn't move the ball, played one-on-one. He was electrifying. He was athletic, but he played the same way. He didn't play as much defense. He didn't win.
Compared to Jordan, he was compared to Jordan.
Compared to Jordan, come on, Floyd. Keep the same energy, Floyd.
I didn't have the same expectations for him. I didn't have the same expectations for him.
hold on. Let's keep it real. You seen Vince come out of the University of North Carolina fluent, and then for the time he played with the Raptors, you didn't have those expectations for him watching Vince and what he was. You didn't have those same expectations when they were saying that he was creme de la creme.
Not like I had for Carmelo. I had higher expectations for Melo.
So you had high expectations for Melo coming out of college than you did for Vince Carter, who was basically who went to the same school as Jordan did, who they said could be the next Jordan. You had higher expectations for Carmelo Anthony, who as a freshman ended up winning the national championship. And meanwhile, a guy in Vince Carter who comes into the league and is awesome right from the door. You hold him here, and you didn't think that he should have exceeded what he did, as opposed to Carmelo Anthony, who only played 1 year of college, by the way.
Correct, because what I saw from Vince was a mentality that wouldn't allow him to be. When everyone was saying he was Jordan, he wasn't. He was Kobe.
That's the same thing. That's the same logic with. You can use that same logic with Carmelo Anthony, whose mentality wasn't to play defense.
I don't like it. I think Vince Carter had a more well-rounded game than Carmelo.
Are you serious? Some Canadian stuff you got going on now, bro. Yeah. You don't get hard on Vince because he put the Raptors on the map. Just keep it real. He put Toronto on the map.
Maybe.
I got you, dog. I got you forever on this. I got you on.
You don't get me if I admit it. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, I really thought Carmelo was going to be that guy, and I thought we were going to be talking.
And he was that guy, Tone.
No. Let me finish. I thought we were going to be talking about Carmelo and LeBron, like we talked about Bird and Magic.
Oh, I see what you're saying. And
the only one that let us down was Melo from having
but all Chilltown is saying is we thought that everybody was saying, comparing Vince to Jordan, saying he was going to be better than Kobe when he was in the league. He came in the league like game buster and put the whole franchise on the mount too. Huh?
People said that about tons of guys. Oh, he's the next Jordan. He's the next Jordan. Everyone was always looking for the next Jordan. So,
but Vince was actually doing that stuff. Vince was actually doing that sort of stuff. It wasn't. This isn't Harold Miner coming into the NBA. No. This isn't that dude. This is actually a dude. This is actually a dude who went to the same school as Jordan, who actually came out of college and came into the league and blew the lid off of it, put Canada on the map and Toronto on the map as a basketball city, and then he's turning that franchise into a viable championship playoff or championship contender. But Carmelo Anthony, you thought him coming out of college, you thought that he would be a lot better than that. I don't know about that.
I thought he would be going head to head with LeBron every year.
Who do you think is better? Who think is a better player, Carmelo or Vince Carter? Who thinks is a better player?
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
No, you think, hold on. That's a good question. Hold on. You think Vince is better than Melo?
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Fluent.
What? I do. Fluent. I'll come back on y'all show. I'll come back on y'all show for this. This is disgusting. I'll come back on y'all show for this, Fluent. Fluent, I'm coming back on for this. You said, hold on. Are you serious or are you trolling right now? Be honest, man.
I think Vince Carter.
No. All your guys aside, you think Vince Carter is better than Carmelo Anthony?
Yes.
Based on what, Tom? What you basing that on?
Oh my God.
Player, I think Vince Carter is a better.
He's a better all-around player than Carmelo Anthony.
Better all-around.
He's a better athlete than He's a better
Carmelo Anthony. Again, his career, it's tough because you're 20 years. So when you take the best of him, I think he is a better all-around player than Carmelo. Yeah,
I think Melo's better. I would have Vince on my team.
Joe than Vince Carter. Like, come on, stop it. Get some help. Wait, I think I have that for you. Here you go.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, Lenny Cook. Oh, sorry, Rugard said Lenny Cook was better than LeBron on God.
Yeah, he was better than LeBron for 5 minutes. Rugard, whatever. He was better than for 5 minutes in high school.
Yeah, he was better than LeBron.
For 5 minutes. James Worthy said he was better than Jordan for 2 weeks. So what does that mean?
He's not wrong.
Okay.
That means he's not wrong that Joe.
So Lenny Cook was better. So Lenny Cook was better than LeBron in high school. Okay, sure, he was better than him in high school. Absolutely.
Right. Isn't Lenny Cook like 3 years older than LeBron as well?
I think it was 2.
Shout out to Lenny Cook, man, New Jersey, Otapan High School.
All right. TMF Willie says, Ron, say it with me. T'Challa.
Yeah,
What did he say again?
That Chitchat joint he said was crazy. That was crazy.
T'Challa. That's pretty close.
I'm saying it for
We're gonna revisit. We're gonna revisit this, Vince.
This is not over. Just so you know,
this is not over. No, this is not over by a long shot.
This is not over.
We'll do a whole episode just on you.
You're going to explain this on the floor in the chair. You're going to explain this.
It's not over. So 100%.
I'll stick to it. Psycho Yumbo. Mars, if he sees Julius Randle on the show.
Yeah, I'm 100% running. I don't want that smoke.
Mars, you run it if you see Julius Randle?
I'm gonna get Julius.
We're not physically running. No, I don't run. But from the show, yes, I would leave. I don't want that smoke with any NBA players. Any NBA player I've offended, I apologize. I didn't mean it. I just say what I say behind the screen. I would never actually say it to you. So
that's funny because off camera, Mars said he would just pretend to be like a playoff rim, and then Randall would just miss it. That's what he said off camera. That's
That's crazy.
But I would never say it to Julius Randle.
Oh, you never say it to
Mars does not speak for all of us.
I just speak for myself. I'm the only one that's scared.
And Mars is not like that anyway. Mars definitely.
I just want you to know.
Don't let him fool you. I see Mars cuss Ticket out, so he'll cuss Julius Randle out too.
I just want you to know. Shout out to Ruggared, whatever. He sent this. Lenny Cook was the truth over LeBron. Lenny Cook was better
high school.
Lenny
Cook he said like 4 of them. Yeah,
he said that
in high school.
He wants to know Lenny Cook was better than LeBron. You got it.
In high school, he was.
You got it.
Thank you. I'm saying thank you for everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
LeBron was never. Oh wait, here's a different. This one's worded differently. I want to give him all his time. Lenny Cook was over LeBron. LeBron was never better than Lenny Cook
in high school.
Now he's lying. No, because that's a different statement now. LeBron was never better. You see, you changing it up.
He's still not bad. Lenny Cook clears.
Ticket TV was leading scorer on the General.
I don't know what that means.
Ticket, do you know what that means?
On the General.
Did you get some car insurance through Shaq?
I don't know what that means.
On the General?
Yeah, I don't know what that means neither.
All right. There you go. Khalil Young.
We've done this one.
You did this one?
We did this one. Yeah, we did this one, Tom.
Okay. All right. He still had it start. Psycho Yambo again with the super chat. Would an offer of Scoot, Sharp, Simons, and picks for Giannis or Embiid be interesting for the 76ers or Bucks if one of them asked to be traded, so asked to be out?
No.
You're the GM for the day in Milwaukee. Giannis comes up to you and says, "Hey man, I have better dad jokes in Portland. Are you shipping him off for that package?"
I'm gonna cuss Giannis out. Like,
I'm straight cussing him out, big guy. That's what I'm doing. I'm cussing Giannis out. You ain't going nowhere. Sit your ass down. You ain't going nowhere.
I might consider it with Joel. I might think about it if he really
cussing
wants to go.
Giannis ass out.
If Joel really wants to go,
Joel comes to you.
Yeah, if Joel really wants to go, and he like, man, I'm tired of these Philadelphia fans. I'm sick of this shit. The process didn't work. I want to go. All right, but they gotta send me Nurkic too. But Giannis, I don't give a damn. How
Giannis not going nowhere.
Go eat some ice cream.
You're not leaving, bro.
Sit your ass down somewhere.
Giannis right here.
Might as well talk to your sports therapist because you're not leaving.
Straight up. We got somebody down the hall to talk to about that.
Yeah, facts.
You think the gap between Giannis and Embiid is that big then?
Well, no, I think there's a gap, but it's not crazy big at all. But Giannis, I think Giannis got a couple more seasons left in his body. Joel. I mean, Giannis broke down this year too, but Joel, he's more likely to break down. And I like Giannis more than Joel.
And Giannis proved it too. He proved
Giannis proved that I could be the best player on the championship team. Joel hasn't proven that yet.
Yeah, as long as the whole league gets injured, Giannis can lead the team to a ring. Right.
Okay.
Phoenix wasn't hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Phoenix went to the finals. And the reason Phoenix made the finals is because every team they played was hurt too.
Well,
that's the only reason they were there.
That's not our fault.
It's not their fault. Giannis has proved that he can lead a team to a ring when the whole
Atlanta wasn't hurt. And
Trae Young
they was already up in this. And just so you know, Giannis got hurt too, by the way.
Yeah,
Giannis didn't play.
Yeah, the Bucks are better than the Hawks. Yeah.
Plus, Philly needs to start considering breaking that up anyway.
And the logic of James Harden being quote unquote hurt, that's because of James Harden. He didn't take care of his body. He came into camp out of shape, which explains why he pulled his hamstring. So the logic of James Harden, so the logic of James Harden, not with James Harden being hurt, that's why they didn't win. That's a James Harden problem.
Kyrie got hurt too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Kyrie because this is also a pattern. Because Kyrie did not only get hurt in 2000, I believe it was 21. Kyrie didn't even play in the playoffs in 2020 because he was hurt again. So rewind the clock. I can go all. I can.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
That doesn't change the fact that Giannis is showing he can win a ring if the whole league is hurt. Like that's fine. Giannis, congratulations. Jimmy Butler's hurt. Well done. You beat the Heat.
So Mars,
Kyrie and Harden get hurt. Oh, well done.
Mars, you're trading Giannis for this deal?
Well done. No,
are you doing this deal, Jan? Are you doing this deal, Mars?
Doing this deal, Mars?
No.
Okay.
Is that an emphatic no, Mars, or we could talk about it kind of no?
I'm not trading the best player in the world. That would be dumb.
Max Capper, Mars. Is this you? Was LeBron and Kyrie the greatest duo ever? The Cavs had one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball in history of the game, and LeBron.
I don't know if LeBron could, like, LeBron's just not good enough to be on that pedestal of greatest duos ever. Like when you look at like Magic and Kareem, that's two elite players. Scotty and MJ, that's two elite players. Kobe and Shaq, two elite
LeBron
players.
weighs that down a lot.
Steph and KD, two elite players, and then you got Kyrie, and then it's like, oh well, LeBron's there too. Okay.
Is it because LeBron had like two super players versus the other guys who had one elite player with them? The other guys,
yeah. I mean, when you're stacking the deck like that, can I really call it a duo? I don't know. I mean, kind of cheating a little bit.
Also, Mars,
agree with that?
To your point, Mars.
I agree with that.
I mean, the duos that you mentioned, like after LeBron, I think the gap between Kyrie Irving and those other guys is pretty substantial when you're talking about a duo.
Yeah, I can get with that. I mean,
J-Rock is better
than Kyrie. Yes.
J-Rock quiet.
I'm listening to y'all talk ball, man. Y'all talk ball.
Is this the greatest duo ever?
Greatest duo ever? Nah. Because Kevin Durant and Steph Curry played together. One, it's just hella duos. I mean, Shaq and Kobe played together. I mean, there's just better duos.
Jordan Pippen is better.
I was just about to say, Max.
I was going to say Jordan.
Max, when you say greatest duo, do you mean just because when you say duo is these guys collectively? James and Kyrie Irving were not close to Scotty and Pippen. Scotty and Jordan. Right. Those two guys weren't close.
Right, Chitchat. Scotty and Pippen.
I'm sorry. I apologize. James and Kyrie were not close to Shaq and Kobe. They were not. They were not that good.
Was James and Kyrie even better than James and D Wade? I like D Wade and LeBron better.
That was a good duo. I think that duo was better than him and Kyrie.
Good, but yeah, D Wade and LeBron is better to me.
Is Kyrie that combo guard that our previous super chat was talking about that we overrate?
I don't know.
Depends on who.
I don't know. Yeah,
close.
Kyrie's a decent playmaker. He can play make though. He's decent.
Yeah, it depends. It depends who you ask.
All right,
to me, combo guards can't play make nothing.
Prodigy with the super chat. Hero, Lowry, and Robinson, and like 4 firsts.
Don't care about them ones. Prodigy.
Do the Heat have 4 firsts to give?
We didn't go back into the Dame trade conversation. We spoke about it for an hour. We done.
Oh, is that the one that I have for?
This is when this first started.
Oh yeah,
so
don't you miss that?
Them 4 ones do not help them. Those 4 ones do not help the Trailblazers. They don't.
By the way, Fluent, just to go back to that, I want to let you know that Chilltown did already bring in that third team. I was just kind of reiterating because you had missed.
Every trade needs a third team to get involved.
Not every trade, Tone. No, not every trade. But this one in particular.
This one needs a third team. This one needs a third team. Dame for Cat, not straight up, but yeah, very nice. You doing Dame for Cat?
No.
If I'm Portland, I don't want Cat.
I just saw one today. This one's from Mars, former Warriors fan, that was asking Chris Paul, who just went to the Warriors. Chris Paul for Cat. Did you do that
as a Warrior? The Warriors giving out Chris Paul?
Yeah.
The Warriors are going to give up Chris Paul in Minnesota The Warriors are gonna give Chris Paul to Minnesota, and Minnesota is gonna give.
If I'm Minnesota, I'm saying hell no.
Minnesota is that bad of a franchise that they might do it.
They already Big Ox. We already did that, and we gave up all our ones for Rudy. So we're not doing something goofy again. No, we're not doing that again.
Real quick though, Floyd, before you read this next one, because KO's for life says Scotty couldn't even get to the finals without Jordan. Just want to just leave that there.
That's true.
Because
it's true.
But it's also true the other way.
Which means what?
Jordan couldn't win a playoff series without Pippen. So
thank you, Mars. That's why I said thank you.
It goes both ways.
One playoff game in his whole life. So
both are factual statements. Both are factual.
I mean, Scottie Pippen got to a game 7 of the conference finals without Jordan. So
two things can be true.
And
two things can be true.
And I would be remiss if I didn't give this because I don't know, Ticket might be busy. LeBron couldn't make it to the playoffs until Larry Hughes showed him how. All right, here we go.
Facts.
Also,
Bill Russell,
Bill Russell is a different story. Tyler, I'm assuming Hero, is low key better than Poole at everything.
Why are you saying low key, Eli? I mean, if you're gonna say that,
I do not agree.
What is Poole better than Tyler?
I think he's a better shooter. I think he's better handle. I mean, they both don't play defense. So
I'll give you handle. That's about it.
I think,
shooter.
I think Poole is better around the rim than Tyler Hero is.
Tyler Hero got a nice handle. He does.
He don't got a better handle than Poole. He don't have a better handle than Poole.
Handle's all thing I'll give you.
You think Tyler Hero's
Tyler Hero better off the dribble. I think he a better one-on-one play. He better off the dribble, and I think he a better one-on-one player than Poole.
I do not think Tyler Hero's better off the dribble than Jordan Poole. Like I think Jordan Poole's about to go average like 26 in Washington, bro.
Just out of curiosity, how many hours did you guys spend debating Tyler Hero versus Jordan Poole?
Too many.
Collectively or just today?
Too many. Yeah.
No, today. I'm curious about the mid-off that you had.
It started right around the time like you came in, Fluent. That's when they asked you the question. So it wasn't too long.
Oh, it wasn't too long.
It wasn't too long. Now
it feels like
we've done it a bunch of times before. Before you were there,
it was longer than it should have. It should have been. I do agree with that.
You agree with that? Okay, so let's get to this one because this one might be for our historian. Top 7 teams, but I want to hear from everybody. You each get one. Top 7 teams to never win a ring. Let's start with Bob.
You already know. I don't think I got to say.
The Sacramento Kings.
There was the robbery that happened.
That couldn't stop themselves from fouling the Lakers. Okay, chill.
98 Jazz.
98 Jazz.
Yes.
98 Jazz. Mars.
2016 Warriors.
Cop out. J Rob.
Damn, I don't know.
Just pick one of LeBron's.
I'm gonna pick Houston again.
18?
27.
2018. No, that's it was 17.
2017 Rockets.
2017 is before Chris Paul.
So Chris Paul got on the crew at 18. 18.
2018 Rockets. 18 Rockets. Okay.
Is that the one that had PJ Tucker starting at center, or that was the next year?
No, they had PJ Tucker at center in 2020.
That was bubble year. That was a bubble year.
PJ Tucker playing center.
Shiloh, did you say yours?
I'm gonna go with the either 2013 Spurs or the 2012 Thunder. One of those.
Which one? Warriors. You get one.
I go 2013 Spurs because how they lost was devastating.
2013 Spurs. Ticket.
Yeah.
You want to give us? You want to give us one?
I think we lost Ticket.
We lost Ticket. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got two more. Any other ones that anybody missed?
Yeah, the $83.
I like 07 Suns.
04 Timberwolves.
What'd you say? $03? No. What'd you say? $83?
$83.
$83.
World champion Boston Celtics won world championship in 81. They win it. They lose to Philly in 82 in the conference conference finals. I'm sorry. The next year in 83, Milwaukee sweeps them out the playoffs, smokes them dudes. They just couldn't get past Philly. They was one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. They just couldn't get past Philly. Philly just had their number.
2017 Spurs.
Brock Lesnar's right. 2011 Miami Heat.
03 Nets too. 03 Nets.
2017 Spurs. 2016 Spurs.
05 Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
They won the NBA championship the year before that.
Hey, but 905.
I like the 07 Suns though, man. I thought that was the team that missed out on one, but that was a good one.
That was the one where where they had them suspensions where Amari Stoudemire got. Because I think Phoenix bounces them. I think Phoenix beats them if the suspensions don't happen.
And then they beat Utah in the conference finals, and then they beat LeBron in the finals.
This one thing I would say, like a lot of times, sometimes I'm like, okay, David Stern, you know, it's like we were talking about with Adam Silver and a couple things. It's like, no, David Stern wouldn't go for that. He'd shut that down right now. But at the same time, though, David Stern, he used to do a little too much sometimes, though. Like, man, you could have let them men play basketball.
Yeah, but you have to understand, David Stern was coming from the time of we need to cut back on this stuff.
I do. No, I understand that. I dig that. I dig that.
The commissioner during the Malice in the Palace, he was, you know, he saw so much stuff that they had to get out of the league, so he's probably tougher than he needed to be. Sometimes.
But can we all agree that Chris Paul has a dartboard with David Stern's picture on it?
100%.
I'm still mad about that to this day.
David Stern told y'all, nah, we ain't doing that.
Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
That's the best team. That's the best
that
team.
Boy David Stern, David Stern said it. He said it's quiet.
For Paul getting traded to, that's the best team that didn't win the title.
I still remember watching SportsCenter, seeing the news that it's been vetoed. I was so devastated as a young Lakers fan back then.
I will say this.
I didn't understand it here.
I was I never seen nothing like that before.
I don't think this current NBA could have handled David Stern because what David Stern would have did to John Morant. Oh Lord, he would have made John Morant cut his locks out.
Russell Westbrook come to the game in dresses and stuff? No way. Blouses?
Big Ox. If you remember back during that time when Chris Paul was getting traded, the New Orleans Hornets at that time financially they were floundering. In fact, the NBA had taken over. The NBA had taken over that franchise. So what you're doing now is if you let Chris Paul get traded to the Lakers, now you guys looking at it from a super team logic. You let Chris Paul get traded to the Lakers. What you're doing is now you're devaluing not just that team, but you're now devaluing the league. And this thing just falls apart all the way around. So David Stern was like, "No, we can't."
That was a business move. That wasn't a basketball move.
That was a business move. Yeah. And I understand that, but at the same time, I'm like, that's Chris Paul's whole legacy has to take a complete dive because y'all can't get y'all business financials and everything together.
But let's be clear. Let's be clear.
Yes, small.
The Hornets was divided up by like 29 teams, right? There was literally 29 owners. But I don't care if you have 29 owners or one owner. If the GM makes a trade, the GM makes a trade. Like very rarely can an owner come in after the fact and veto a trade, right? Like if I'm the owner and you're the GM and you make a trade, I can't go to the NBA office and say, sorry, I know the paperwork's been filed, but I don't approve of it. You can't do that. So the fact that they did it is wrong. But the bigger issue wasn't just Chris Paul going to the Lakers. It's if you look at the math, what they were trading away, they would have had almost two players that they could sign, max players. So you would have been able to have Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, and two max players on top of that. And they're like, guys, if we do this, the Lakers we're done. Like they're going to sign whoever they signed. It was Dwight Howard, and
he was already on that crew, and two more max players.
Would have came.
Yeah,
imagine that Chris Paul and Dwight Howard pick and roll. Oh my.
You know, but you know what? I mean, we're talking about this
on top of that. Another superstar on top of that. So there was a.
Imagine how competitive CP3 is and Kobe. Both of their mentalities on one team. Oh my God.
We're talking about this, and I'm like, David Stern did him wrong and everything, but I do got to say, I'm happy it happened.
Of course you are.
I just want to make sure I throw it out there. You know, like fuck the Lakers.
I'm not. But yeah, that's why you're happy.
So happy. Right. I'm you know, good job, David Stern.
Damn hard. All right. Super cool. 500. The difference between Kyrie's crossover and Joe Schmo's is elite mobility and muscle fiber distribution, not a divine perspective on the game.
See, you're overcomplicating. Is it good or is it not good? That's it.
You turned this into something way more than it had to be.
I thought he was saying something.
Muscle fibers?
I thought he was saying something.
I like it.
Is his left to right better than his? Period.
Exactly.
We ain't got to overcomplicate everything.
Even that's too deep. Is good or bad? Are you good or bad?
His left to right crossover. And then we don't have to go into his muscle fiber and his left leg is better because he's got a faster, quick twitch. And give me a break.
Well, to keep in the vein of we can only compare Gritty Dick to other white players, his floor is Pat Connaughton.
His floor is Jimmer Fredette.
Shout out to the Raptors.
No one's floor should be Jimmer Fredette. That's like no one's floor. Daron, I think people are underrating pairing Kristaps with Tatum. Tatum, with an all-star level PNR partner, takes his game to another level. Agree, disagree?
Does Tatum work well in a pick and roll? I think they still need a point guard to facilitate that. I don't think Tatum's game is running this pick and roll with Kristaps Porzingis. It's a good pickup, but I feel like they still need a playmaker on that team.
Well, they got a playmaker in Jason Tatum. They do have a playmaker in Jason Tatum. I just think that the offense.
Be your best playmaker though. Like as Tatum as your best playmaker, you think that's good for the Celtics?
I don't know if I don't know. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just saying you don't think they're missing a facilitator.
I do think that they are missing that, but I think I also think that their offense is going to change too, because the way that they just shoot the long ball all night, where they just either go into the rim or you shooting the long ball, that's not conducive to now adding Kristaps Porzingis, because adding him, now you got that low post presence who could also shoot in the mid-range. You're going to have to add him more into that offense, which means their offense is going to have to change. I think Jason Tatum playing with Porzingis in the pick and roll, I think that's good because Jason Tatum has definitely become a better passer this season and a better playmaker. And I think that Porzingis is going to enhance that this season coming up, because Porzingis being a pick and dive and being a pick and pop guy, plus playing in the post, I think that's going to be really good for the Celtics. I don't think people are underrating it. What I don't want to do is I don't want to overrate it like, they're Jabbar and Magic. No, right. We're not going to do that.
I really wish they would have went after. I thought the perfect point guard to add to that team would have been Tyus Jones. Just somebody who is, to me, in my opinion, I do.
No, yeah, that's all.
A steady, capable point guard.
Steady, capable point guard. Exactly. Just somebody steady and capable. Like I thought they should.
What's Ricky Rubio's status?
I see what you're saying.
That's where I was at.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What's Rubio's status right now?
He's in Cleveland.
Yeah, he's in Cleveland.
He's healthy now, right? But
he should be.
I was just about to say, wasn't he hurt?
He was, but that was at the end of the season before.
Yeah.
Right, so
he was in Cleveland this year.
He was back. Yeah, he came back for the playoffs and stuff. I like the Tyus Jones. Like that's the player model that they should.
Yeah, they need somebody steady who's going to take care of the basketball. One of the issues, I think one of the big issues that Boston teams that they have terrible ball security. Like
turnovers.
They turn the ball over a lot, and I just think they need somebody who is going to put them in good sets and just be able to be steady. Like that's what I feel like they need. I don't think they need nothing over the top. You got the talent already.
They could definitely use another ball handler or point guard, or whatever, facilitator, but I still think that it's the favorites to win it this year, though.
They rolling with Brogdon.
Did y'all do that? Do y'all love Malcolm Brogdon? Like, are we in love with Malcolm Brogdon?
Not as a playmaker. I feel like he's a good six man. He's a good, but not as a primary playmaker.
Like, is he really a lead guard?
No. He's a scorer.
I'm saying he's a scorer. Like, so him off the bench, I like as a scorer, not as your primary player.
But that's my second question, and that's why I'm so confused about the Malcolm Brogdon thing. Everybody before the season started last year was saying Malcolm Brogdon was such a great addition because he was going to be able to do things for them that they needed, and then you get him, and obviously he's been hurt a bit, but I don't understand. Like,
well, hold on, J-Rob.
It's because they thought Malcolm Brogdon was a playmaker when he wasn't.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. But I'm saying, but where did that?
But he was a playmaker, though. I mean, he won 6th man of the year, and it wasn't just because he was buckets. It was not just because he was buckets. Add that to the fact that he played the most this year. Don't leave that. Don't leave that part out.
Tatum was a better playmaker. Tatum was a better playmaker than him last season.
No one wins 6th man of the year because they're a good playmaker.
That's not true. I think we have a.
Who's a better playmaker, Tatum or Brogdon?
Tatum is a better. Tatum, period. Tatum is a better playmaker.
That's the problem.
But he was going to be used as a rotation player anyway. It wasn't like he was getting on the crew. And he was going to be their starting point guard and be their primary playmaker. No, that wasn't the case. And there's nobody who was thinking that Malcolm Brogdon was getting on this crew and be their primary playmaker. I always felt like Marcus Smart was their lead guard.
You know that, but you don't.
We know that.
You don't think some of these fans had this perception that Malcolm Brogdon was going to come in and be the playmaker that they've been longing for? I think most people had that expectation.
I thought that he was a really good addition in a rotation.
Because I remember him. I'm a very much an NBA Twitter guy, so I like to read what people are saying about moves. And when Brogdon came, everybody was like gung ho about Brogdon because they felt like, oh, this is the point guard that they've been looking for. And obviously, you see how that's been working out. They tried to trade him.
This my thing from trying to look at it from like a coaching aspect. I'm trying to look at it that way right now. If y'all saying that Malcolm Brogdon being the best facilitator on the team or playmaker is a problem, or my bad, Jason Tatum, I don't look at it that way because I feel like just because Jason Tatum, let's say Jason Tatum is my best facilitator, that doesn't mean he has to do the facilitating because Malcolm Brogdon is more than capable of doing it. So if I got a guy that's a better, let's say Jason Tatum's just a better spot up shooter. He's my best spot up shooter, but he's also my best playmaker. I'm not going to have him playmaking still. He's still going to be over here shooting. Malcolm Brogdon can still run be my facilitator, even if Jason Tatum's better than him at it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see that being a problem.
You don't see an issue with Tatum being the best playmaker on the team.
No, I'm happy with it because that means Jason Tatum is that just means Jason Tatum is a really good playmaker. That doesn't mean that Malcolm Brogdon isn't a good playmaker.
But we've seen these past couple of seasons like how that the playmaking has got them stuck. Like I feel like the playmaking will bring them over the hump. Tatum as your best playmaker has shown that.
I think that was I think those are just bad offensive sets. Shallow. I think they need to switch up their sets a little bit. I think they need to run a different style of offense. Personally,
I think it's both. I think both could be true. I think how they run could change, but I feel like they need a better playmaker and to get the weight off of Tatum. Tatum shouldn't be your best playmaker. He's not.
He should. I don't know about your best playmaker, Shallow. More than he shouldn't be your primary playmaker.
Your primary, yeah.
I can get with that.
Tatum could play make, but he shouldn't be your primary one.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. There's nothing wrong with I don't think it's a problem that he is the best playmaker. It just also means that Brogdon, I feel like Brogdon is perfectly capable of doing it. It's just that the sets they were running, the style of offense, whatever plays, whatever you call it, I don't think it fit for what they got. I think now adding KP. You can comfortably take Jason Tatum off the ball, and you'll be fine with Malcolm Brogdon running the offense.
Can I ask you a question, Ox? Do you think? How do you feel about the Celtics clearly deciding to go all in with Joe Mazzulla's philosophy as a coach? Because I think that's why they got KP too. I think they're going to be like, all right, you're not Ime, you're not a crazy defensive mind like Ime. I think they're going with the 3-point shooting thing. I think they're going to try to really live on that perimeter. That's what it looked like to me when you got a guy like KP.
I don't think they're going.
Hold on, Tom. Hold on. Go ahead, Ox.
Oh yeah, I'm saying I don't know. I'm not saying if that's what that means. KP could play different. He could play different styles of basketball. I think just getting him just makes it to where we have more capabilities of what we can do. We got different options now. We got a post presence. We can score inside out. We can score outside in. So I don't think by them getting him says that they're sold on Mazzulla. I think even more, it's just kind of like just in case we got to get off of Mazzulla, and now we come with Sam Cassell. Now we got options on the different styles of offense and defense too.
I like it.
What's going on, fellas? Did I miss anything important?
Yeah, you did.
What you doing here, man?
Yo,
Ron, right now, Ron.
One more time.
Y'all tell me to be quiet all the time. I'm quiet.
Carmelo
I'm playing
or Vince Carter.
You BKD. We don't need you.
All right. Hey,
I want to know.
Y'all got your bus driver right up there.
Carmelo or Vince Carter.
Panelist Ron is in the building. Here we go. This is there. Here we go. We lied to Misfit.
I guess God don't like ugly.
I met Wade through Wade Elite. He's like 6'3", 6'4", but his wingspan crazy long though. So he feels like a 6'5", 6'6", like Bob says through wingspan. So Bob, I don't understand that because I'm 6'3" and my wingspan is like 6'7", 6'8". So am I actually taller? I want to understand.
So this is my thing. I think basketball people get too involved in how tall you are. So for instance, if I'm 6'7", it doesn't matter how tall I am. How high do my arms go? I got a 7'5" wingspan. So I don't feel like I'm 6'7". I feel like I'm more 6'10", you know, because my arms reach up where all the 6'10" guys' arms reach.
So like Kawhi Leonard, basically. Kawhi Leonard with those long arms and those huge hands that he has.
I don't care if you're 6'3".
I'm like
if you got a 6'8" wingspan, you 6'7", you 6'6", you know.
I told us like Draymond Green. He's like,
J-Rob, will you focus? J-Rob, focus.
Go
ahead, I'm sorry, Shaq.
I'm saying like no, I'm gonna give him but Big Ox. Like Draymond's like 6'6", but he has like a 7-foot wingspan, so he's able to play way bigger than his actual size.
Right.
I think that's just how I've always looked at it. I don't think it really matters how high your head goes, how hard your arms go.
D Wade 6'3", 6'4", so he's a combo guard who could play defense. I think that's where that was coming from. Not a conspiracy theorist, which is unfortunate because I love conspiracy theories. 2017 Warriors versus 2012 Heat. Prime defense LeBron on KD, D Wade on Steph, Chris Bosh on Klay, and Ray Allen on Draymond or Bosh. Or Dre Allen on Klay. Okay. Who I guess it's who you got.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Warriors. The Warriors win in 4 games.
You think they smoked them, Mars?
In 4?
That's not even the best
They
team.
smoked them. That 2013 team is better than the 2012 team. First of all.
And they win by a record margin like the Spurs did in 2014.
Wow.
No way am I buying that. I'm not buying
Mars,
that.
I got the Heat.
Ron, I don't care what you have. You're wrong.
You got the Heat? Hold on. Let's hear from panelist Ron. Let's hear from panelist Ron. Okay, let's hear your take because I know it's gonna be nasty. Go ahead.
It's not gonna be nasty. I'm just gonna say, bro, I'm not really betting against LeBron.
At that time,
with the team that was better than that Cavs team that he had at that time. I feel like they swept him, but I mean, like you put Braun with Wade, Bosh, and the other players that they had around them. Well, I think that they have a strong horse in that race.
So 2017 did not.
You have winning though, on
that 2017 team did not beat the Cavs.
He's picking the Heat.
I'm picking the Heat.
Wow.
I'm picking the Heat.
And how many games?
2012 versus 2017?
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good game, though. It'll be a good game.
Yeah, a nice
I think
17-point win. It will be a nice 17-point win. Nice.
No,
Average margin.
I don't agree with that. I think them games.
Average will probably be like 11
I think it'll be like 2 to 5 point games, bro.
So they completely just dominate.
I would love to.
That'll be a great series. That'll be a phenomenal series.
It will.
All right, for the Clippers, for the Clipper, whoever's gonna clip this for TikTok, Bob, who you got?
Shit, I got the Heat.
The Heat and how many?
A very good 6-game series, like a 5 or 6 game series.
6. Jay.
Yeah.
Miami.
And how many?
I think it's a 7-game dogfight.
This is insane. Mars.
Golden State in 4, maybe 5.
Golden State in 4. J. Rob.
You think I'm going against Braun? In 7. You kidding me?
Heat in 7. All right. Ron. Heat and how many?
The Heat have the best player on the floor, and arguably, all right, they got the best player, and then you got KD, then you got Steph, then you got Wade. So I mean, with that being said, bro, I think it's going to be a dogfight through and through. I got the Heat in 6.
I got that version of Wade over.
What you got, Ticket?
I got the Warriors. Warriors in a close, hard fought 5 games.
Warriors in 5.
It's close though. Close 5.
Close.
Yeah, close
Okay.
5.
Ticket. Who you got? 17 Warriors, 12 Heat.
You said the 17 Warriors are who?
And the 2012 Miami Heat.
Warriors.
Okay.
Wow.
Who do you got?
Yeah,
that's crazy. What? The Warriors smoke them.
Yeah,
Get out
Warriors.
Warriors smoke them. Smoke them.
What are you basing that on, Tone? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is the same Miami Heat team that smoked Oklahoma City with Kevin Durant on that crew. Now he's a different player 5 years later. No doubt about that. But we also talking about a LeBron James who was at the pinnacle of who he was. Dwayne Wade was still awesome. Chris Bosh was also at the pinnacle of who he was at that same time. So the idea that they smoked these dudes, completely
KD,
smoked
Curry,
them.
Draymond, and Klay were all at the pinnacle
Use the
too.
logic since you
The,
asked me.
the only reason they
use
smoked
the logic,
OKC is because they couldn't make open threes. That's the only reason.
when you make the here's my point. When you use the logic that this is the same team that smoked OKC, well, then you got to make the same thing. Well, this is a Warriors team that smoked LeBron, and he had Kyrie,
No, Fluid, no,
and Love.
because those teams are incomparable. It's not comparable.
Mm-mm. No, they're not. They're not.
There's
Not
a-
even
there's
close.
a-
And the reason-
Okay.
Go ahead, Mars. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not about it. It doesn't matter. The only reason Miami smoked OKC is because OKC couldn't make their wide open threes.
You ever thought that was the game plan, though, Mars? You ever thought that might have just been the game plan?
That's fine.
Which means that the game plan against the Golden State Warriors who shoot the long ball might be a different game plan. You're making it sound like they couldn't guard the three. Because they could guard the three.
So if that's the case, then why are we
Go ahead,
using the
I'm sorry.
OKC? Why are we using the OKC series as an indicator of how good they were? If we know
Because
the game plan's going to be different, what does it mean?
It means that because Kevin Durant was on that team and we're familiar with him, he was a different player. I think he was a different player in terms of attitude. I don't think his skill set changed. I don't think much of his game had changed at that point. He still was shooting the basketball at a high level. He still was a great one. That's what I think it is, Ticket. I think that was the thing that was the thing, and his mentality changed because of the crew he was on. That was it.
That's fine. That's the cruise.
I just want to know what's the game plan for the 2017 Warriors. What is the game plan for that?
There is no one.
You don't game plan. Well,
They didn't have the personnel to game plan them. Like I always told y'all, man, I thought the Shaq Kobe Lakers would have beat the hell out of them just because you throw the ball in the Shaq. But when you don't got no big man, it's hard to game plan against that type of team in this era when you don't have no dominant big man where you can slow the game down and really play the way you're supposed to play. Because that's how you can beat all those teams. Just slow the game down, bro. If you slow the game down and stop them from running and doing all the stuff they want to do, bro, and cut their possessions in half and cut their possession time in half, bro, that beats them a lot of times. That keeps the score low. That doesn't let them get to doing what they want to do. That's the reason why Mike D'Antoni didn't see much success in the playoffs. His run and gun offense, when they slowed it down in the playoffs and made him play in the half court a lot, he didn't like it. And that was their demise a lot. So I just think
that was Mike D'Antoni's demise because his philosophy was like a punch drunk boxer. I think I can hit you more than I can stop you from hitting me. That's not going to work in the playoffs.
Right.
No.
And I'll say this.
I'm going to open them up, spread them out, penetrate, get to the rim.
Stop it, J-Rob. Stop. Pause. This is what I think. And then we'll move on to the next.
Go ahead,
I think there's very few teams, not saying none, very few teams in NBA history that could beat that 2017 Warriors team. And I don't think the 2012 Heat are one of them because I don't think they're
Here's also the thing too, though. I think we gravely underestimate that Heat unit over those 4 years just because they lost 2 of those championships. And this is what I'm gonna say. I'm comfortable stacking that Heat team with a prime LeBron, all-time great shooting guard and player, and another dude who is very underestimated too, and Chris Bosh, and just the rest of the unit. I'm comfortable stacking that team up against any championship team ever and thinking that they have success. Now, I'm not going to say that.
That's fine. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong.
That 2017 team had all their best players were all in their primes. No other team could say that. I mean, it's always like, oh, this player is young, is baby. This player, older X version of this player.
Right.
That 2017, they were all Klay prime.
We see prime boxers get knocked out all the time.
Wait.
People in their prime get beat all the time.
Ron, are you saying? Ron, are you saying the 2012 Miami Heat is an all-time great team?
What I'm saying is, I actually like
a top 5 all-time great team.
I actually like the 2013 team a little better
because they ran the playoffs. They had some stuff go their way too. Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
You have to win. You have to have something.
It's not just that simple, and I'm going to make that point in a second. But keep going, Ron.
It's teams that are obviously better than them that you would take ahead of them if we're listed all-time teams.
Right.
That doesn't mean that just because a team's better, that doesn't mean that they're not going to beat them. They still have mismatch problems that are glaring that they have to deal with. Like, who's going to stop LeBron James? Who's going to stop LeBron James? Who's going to stop LeBron James? Who's going to stop?
And Ron, most importantly, Ron, one more time. And one more time, Ron. What's the most important part? One more time for people in the back.
Chris Bosh, man.
You said
We've seen multiple teams stop LeBron James. Well, not beat LeBron James led teams. Okay. We've seen multiple teams do that.
Right.
The only thing that stopped
don't stop Tone and Tone. A lot of them series where he had those inflated numbers, his percentages was horrible. Keep it real. His percentages are nowhere near the same.
Now, with that being said, Ticket. So we're talking about the 2016. We're talking about the 2017 Warriors, who did have some stuff go their way. Let's rewind the clock back to 2012. Right, that 2012 team. The next year beat that Spurs team, which, by the way, they were better than. And then that Spurs team. Fast forward to 2016, they opening night on 2016 opening night. Beat the Golden State Warriors by 29. That wasn't an aberration. We start the playoffs with that team. They got the Golden State Warriors in the chokehold, down 20, and then Kawhi Leonard gets hurt. With Kawhi Leonard getting hurt, they go on to beat them in 4 straight games. Now, we're talking about a Miami Heat team who was better at that time. I think the Golden State Warriors, more than anything, had some things go their way. If they're healthy, and that 2012 team, which, by the way, the next year was better, but was still awesome, I still think that they beat these dudes in a 7-game dogfight. Yeah, because as good as LeBron James was, as good as Chris Bosh was, as good as Dwayne Wade was.
He before that in 2011?
We ain't talking about 2011. We just talking about 2012.
In 2012, you just let LeBron James shoot, and then you live with the results.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just let him shoot, live with the results.
Well, then why didn't Oklahoma City do that?
They did. He couldn't make a 3 to save his life.
The difference was
Shane Battier was the one who couldn't miss.
I'm glad you brought up that one. That whole series. It wasn't the whole series, though, Mars. The reason why it wasn't the whole series, Mars, because I remember in Game 4, which was a deciding game in that series when they were up by 2-1, and LeBron James has cramps, cracks a 3 to ice the game. He absolutely did that. So.
Okay, and like I said, you live with the results. LeBron James couldn't.
And they did live with the results, and the results was they lost.
Yeah, because like I said, OKC couldn't make their threes. I don't know what the percentage is. Someone could look out. OKC couldn't make threes. Miami could. LeBron James couldn't make threes. It was the rest of the team that was making threes.
And the fact
that you live with the results of LeBron James shooting.
And the fact that Oklahoma City could
LeBron James doing everything else too.
Hey Ron,
Ron. Like Golden State did in 2017. They lived with the results. Guess what?
Bring it up the bad. Now bring up the good.
Yeah,
we the tag team champions in the world. Round don't you talk about?
Bring it. Do the tag team champions in the world.
We already went up on the chilling with y'all ass. We already whooped y'all ass. We'll get Ron some too if you want.
Yeah, that's the difference.
We'll get Ron some too if you want.
You did not. That's the difference, Ticket. You did not.
Are the 2012 Celtics a historically great team?
Keep cooking them, Mars.
Are the 2012 Celtics a historically great team?
No, and they went 7 with them.
They went 7 with them.
The greatest team ever with even.
Come on,
those 2012 Celtics give the Warriors a run for their money too. I'm not gonna say they beat them, but it would. So the Golden State Warriors just stop everybody. So the Golden State Warriors just stop everybody.
We are arguing probably the greatest team ever with not even the best Heat team.
If they play the team, they're just going to beat them by 30 every game. That's what we're saying.
Who cares about John Collins?
Who did Atlanta get back from the Jazz? Who did Atlanta get back?
Rudy Gay.
That's it. No, there has to be more coming out. That's it.
Do the Rudy Gay dunk.
Oh, what happened? Breaking news.
John Collins got traded.
The Hawks got Rudy Gay.
Rudy Gay, baby.
Rudy Gay. He's
Rudy Gay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
We couldn't beat that trade.
I thought Rudy Gay retired.
I'm thinking finally. That's what I'm thinking with John Collins. I mean, how long has it been now? How long has it been?
What is Monte McNair doing out here?
Finally,
that's crazy.
For anyone,
that's Trae Young not liking John Collins, not wanting to play with him. That's all there is to it. They had to make a decision.
You got somebody better than Rudy Gay, though.
Hold on. When I said it to you about Miami, you came to me talking about Dame Dollar and the team being faithful.
We don't need to go back to
John Collins for Rudy Gay. That's it. 1 for 1.
And a pick.
No, a second
round pick.
So basically,
yeah. For anyone
trying to win now or what?
I don't know. Come stop talking about a trade. No one cares. For anyone wondering, LeBron James shot 3 of 16.
People do care, Mars. A lot of people.
Hey, Mars, you tag team champ.
You said he shot 3 for 16.
He was 3 of 16. Shane Battier was 15 of 26.
That's right, Mars. Keep kicking their ass. We just had
So my opinion of letting LeBron James in 2012 shoot threes in the finals.
Yeah,
I think Golden State lived with that result. And the only reason they lost the game in the finals in 2017 is because the Cavs made, I think, a record in the finals for threes.
Yeah, that was the reason they won. I think they shot like 55% on the long ball.
And respectfully, I don't think this Miami Heat team is capable of that. And Miami don't have the personnel to match up with Golden State. The Superchats said LeBron's guarding KD. No, he's not. Shane Battier's guarding.
No, he's not. Thank you,
James is not going to guard KD. So that was already false.
And that's a good thing. That's a great.
Hold on, Ron. Keep going, Mars. Keep going.
You get something too, Ron.
Hold on. Keep going, Mars.
Because LeBron James can't guard him, and that's not a knock on him. LeBron James can't guard him. But also, the fact of the matter is, this Miami Heat team not only doesn't have the personnel to match up with Golden State, no one had the personnel to match up with Golden State. That offense, you give KD the spacing he needs with Steph and Klay. There's no way in hell you're matching up with that team. Not to mention they were the best defense in the playoffs as well. Golden State was. Miami plays small, so it plays into Golden State's hand with Draymond at the 5. So they don't have a matchup problem there. There's no logical way besides LeBron James being the best player on the floor that you could give me that would explain why Miami would win. Not to mention, again, Dwayne Wade is no longer in his prime. He's not the same Dwayne Wade as he was in 2009 or 2011. He is a worse player.
What did he do? What do you do?
He was an all-star level player. He averaged 23, 6, and 5. He's an all-star level player. He's not this. Like I said, I never said he was bad. I said he's not the same level.
That's not like Klay Thompson.
I said he's not the same level as Dwayne Wade.
This is great.
No, it's not. It's not Klay Thompson. Dwayne Wade
is
not
better. You getting cooked.
Ain't nobody getting cooked. Shut the hell up, Ticket, and listen.
My tag team partner. My tag team partner went on your ass.
Pay attention and learn something. This is how a debate works. One person talks, the other person listens.
Keep going, Mars.
I'm sorry if you got interrupted.
Ryan just sits back and listens sometimes.
I apologize if you got interrupted. Mars, this is how a debate works. Keep going. Keep going, Mars.
So yes, Dwayne Wade was still an all-star caliber player, but he was not the same level of Dwayne Wade as he used to be. So you bringing up Dwayne Wade as if he's moving the needle? Not really. Do I think Klay Thompson could guard him pretty well? Yes.
D-Wade's not moving the needle.
Hold on,
compared to what Golden State had, no, he's not.
Moving on.
We don't have to talk about
Dwayne Wade.
It doesn't matter what he was.
Dwayne Wade is not the reason why they're going to win. Dwayne Wade is not the reason they're going to win. And if we want to talk about it, by Chill's own admission, the 2013 Miami Heat were a better team. I guess they won 7 games with the Indiana Pacers.
Congratulations.
Wait. I was about to make that point. No, because you guys asked me whether 2012
Don't make me mute you, Ron. Don't make me mute you, Ron.
Yo,
I do want to talk about this some more because Mars made a really good point, and I have a rebuttal to that. But
don't get mad if y'all getting cooked, Floyd. Don't get mad.
Nobody getting cooked. Ticket. This is what happens when you debate. And he made a good point.
I want to hear the response.
Okay, you want to hear
the response?
Time out. Jay's rebuttal. Go, Jay.
There we go.
Mars, so to your point about the 5 and playing small ball. Well, one, the defense is going to be different. They're going to crowd the 3-point line, and they're not going to be able to shoot the basketball. Both Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, they're not going to be able to shoot the way that they do because they're going to shoot. They're going to crowd them more at the 3-point line. Well, with crowding them more at the 3-point line, they're going to be able to force turnovers, which speeds the game up, which is what Miami did back then. That's how they were able to generate a lot of their points. It wasn't because they shot the long ball. That was to their strength. In the process of them doing that, their defense went up. So they're not going to get into 125, 130-point games with the Golden State Warriors, and they're not going to allow the Golden State Warriors to shoot the basketball, those wide open shots the way that they do. So this is going to be a completely different game plan than it was in 2012 against any of those teams that they played.
Is it? Do I
get him, Mars? Tear his head off, Mars.
They can crowd the 3-point line all they like. That is the game plan for Golden State. But the issue is when you crowd the 3-point line, that leaves space in behind, which is why Golden State had the highest percentage of open layups in the NBA in 2017, in 2016, in 2018. The reason why is because every team that crowded the 3-point line, they leave up wide open layups. And Miami didn't have the rim protection at the time to actually try and mitigate that. Like they have Chris Bosh at the 5, LeBron James, Udonis Haslam. That's not rim protection. So Golden State are going to
don't forget Joel Anthony.
Oh, great. Joel Anthony. Sure.
Be quiet while your partner get cooked, Floyd. Keep going, Mars.
Why y'all laughing at Joel Anthony as a rim protector?
As you were saying, Mars,
Joel Anthony wasn't even playing in the finals.
Mars, you were saying rim protection, Mars.
So the lack of rim protection, because every team wants to crowd Golden State on the 3-point line because they know about the shooting they have. That is why they get so many layups. Draymond Green at the top of the key, finding those layups, and they're going to run their split cuts where KD's going to get downhill because you're not going to leave Steph Curry and Klay Thompson open. The reason why Golden State are so dangerous because their threat to shoot leaves teams to change the way they play defense, which gives up the layups, which is what Miami are going to do by your own admission. It's not going to force the turnovers that you believe it. It'll force a few because they're going to make mistakes. Golden State always have high turnovers. But the reason they're going to get so many wide open looks at the rim that Miami won't be able to keep up is because of their threat they have to shoot. And then if you change your defense and start giving up wide open threes, guess what? It's Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They're not going to miss. Kevin Durant, not going to miss. The only guy who can't shoot on the team is Draymond Green. But when you have him initiating the offense, running the pick and rolls, playing out the short roll, there's no feasible way for Miami to stop that offense. Miami just wasn't that good of a team. They weren't that good of a team to be putting this all-time caliber. They technically, and I'm not saying they were as good, they played a similar brand to Golden State before Golden State did. They ran small. They got up a lot of threes. They tried to play fast. They tried to have LeBron James facilitating for everyone. They played a similar brand of basketball. Golden State just did it much better than that. And I just believe there's no way that you could genuinely say, besides just saying, well, it's LeBron James, he's the best player in the series, that would make sense for them to win. And respectfully, LeBron James, the best player in the series, has lost a whole bunch of series. So I'm not just going to say that's
Let's go, Mars. 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 For the tag team champions of the world. Let's go, baby. Undefeated, baby.
I need my rebuttal too. Ticket, shut your ass up.
I
need my rebuttal too. All right, now do it. Look, I'm gonna be hosting tomorrow. Remember this. I'm gonna be hosting tomorrow.
Very simple.
All right, tomorrow. All right. Well, look, all I want to say is, you guys brought up the 2012 Celtics, right? Yeah. Said, was that all-time great team and this, that, and the third? Why are we not bringing up the fact that the Rockets took them to seven games? Is that an all-time
in a different year?
Fantastic. Wait. Is that an all-time great team?
It was a
better than
different
Celtics.
It doesn't matter.
It was a different year.
It was a different year.
Because we're not talking about the 2018 Golden State. So why you bringing it up?
This Warriors team only lost one game.
The 2017 Warriors, not the 2018 Warriors.
Oh, go for the gusto, Mars. Go for the gusto.
Not the same team. There's no way you waited for that point to be. The defense was worse in 2018. In 2017, they were the best defense in the league. In 2018,
it's like a difference between. It's like 2012.
I can't believe a hypothetical series is more important than actual trades that are happening today.
Yes,
there's no way that's the point you waited to make.
Bob, don't get mad because my tag team partner cooking yours. Don't get mad. You get something
involved in this ticket. You don't even sound like you involved in this ticket. You ride it. Ticket. You ride Mars.
I'm rolling with my tag team partner. I'm rolling with my tag team partner.
Anyway, Tone, that was good. I enjoyed that. Let's get some more. Very good.
We got a couple more.
TikTok's still gonna think Miami would have won because they have LeBron James anyway. So
that's of course.
Make sure that when you clip that, make sure that if you guys make sure when you clip that, make sure you clip Mars going off on what he said and me listening. Because
yes, absolutely, it's very rare.
Civil debate, very rare on this platform.
You can say you got cooked.
You might go viral just sitting. If you sit and just listen to somebody go crazy, shit.
Knowing the history and knowing the game are two different things.
Hey, J-Rob, Mars just barbecued that man. Ain't no question about it. Mars, I'm proud of you.
How many times I cooked you and flamed your ass?
I'm proud of you, man.
Every time I get on here, I can't tell you how many times I fried your ass. Mars made some really good points, which is what happens when you're in a debate. How does the debate work, Mars? You talk.
Mars made good points.
You listen. We were very civil. I made some good points. I feel like Mars made some better points. That's what happens in a debate. However, many times when I've gotten in a debate with you, Ticket, and I flamed your ass, all you do is still flame your ass.
You might have won one. You'll get a pick.
Ain't no might have won or nothing. All you do is talk loud, and in the process of you talking loud, you're never making any good points. The reason why you don't make good points is because all you do is talk loud. What we just did was we just had a debate where Mars made some really good points. You know why? Because I was able to listen to Mars talk, and Mars was able to listen to me talk. You, on the other hand, cursing everybody out, not just cursing everybody out, but yelling and saying the same thing over and over again. It's not cooking anybody or making it good. So do yourself a favor, Ticket, and be quiet.
Let's do this. Let's take all the yelling. Let's take out all the screaming. Hold on. Let's take out all the yelling, all the screaming. Whenever you want, whatever time. Whatever place you're on, hold on one second, chill. Whatever time, whatever place you're on PC, you and me, one-on-one for everything, sucker.
Give me a break.
Like I said,
I've smoked you so many times, and I'm here every day. Give me a break, Ticket. I've knocked you out more than once, more than twice.
I'm gonna lay you down. I'm gonna lay you down.
You ain't laying nobody down.
I'm gonna lay you down.
As you were
and
saying,
Fluent gonna call the paramedics
you
to
ain't
pick you
laying
up.
nobody down. I've smoked you more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. So
Fluent gonna call the paramedics.
my heart don't pump Kool-Aid, and you don't put no fear in me, homeboy. Zero.
It's coming to a PC weekend.
That's easy. That's easier said than done, sucker.
Knowing the history and knowing the game are two different things. If you're in the league, you're not a casual because of film and schemes. Don't mean you DK it.
That means you know it.
You don't know
it. That means you don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can like knowing the game and knowing the NBA are two different things. A lot of people when they think basketball, they just think the NBA. Like it's all good. Oh, knowing who the 1975 Finals MVP was. But do you understand the game of basketball? Not really.
For sure. And let's be clear, there are guys that play in the NBA who don't understand schemes and playbooks. They just get by on athletics too. But let's not
But
ignore
that's
them.
kind of point I was saying too. You separated it. Some guys who know basketball but don't know the NBA, and some guys who know the NBA but doesn't know basketball. That's simple as that.
To me, it's worse if you know it. To me, it's
brother. Just yesterday, a guy argued with me that KD is top 5, not current, but all time, over TD, Kareem, and Bron too. Cook this man, please.
Hey, Fluent host, can I ask you that? Fluent?
What's the question? What?
What makes a person qualified to say who does and who doesn't know about basketball?
That's a good question.
That's all I want to know. Because Showtime Sean Porter over here keep talking about who qualified and who ain't. So, like I said, I'm gonna build his blood pressure all the way up. who qualified? Because there's a whole lot of dudes that played for the San Antonio Suckers that's out here talking about somebody else ain't qualified. So I just want to know who determines who's qualified and who ain't to figure if somebody's basketball knowledge is here or there or good or not. That's all I want to know.
I never said someone qualified or not. Yeah, I don't. Who said that? I didn't.
I'm saying how are you? No. I'm saying how are you qualified to say whether or not somebody else know basketball now? How is that?
By having conversations with somebody, you got to talk to them, see what they know. Like what?
Okay.
What's the question? I don't.
Okay. For example,
if talk to somebody,
everyone's qualified. Everyone I don't like the narrative that only basketball players could talk about basketball players. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and they're qualified until they open up their mouth. Because once they open up their mouth, you'll know real quick if they're qualified to talk basketball or not.
Just as simple as that. Just talk to somebody. That's why I don't assume somebody is a casual or doesn't know. But before I talk to them, you talk to somebody.
Yeah. No, but you just assumed that about Jokic show. You just told Fluent that you don't think Jokic. Hold on right there. Hold on. You told Chilltown and Fluent. You told Chilltown, and Chilltown will vouch for this because he ain't no liar. Today he ain't no liar, but you'll tell Chilltown will tell you. Chilltown, remember when he just said, I don't think that Jokic, and that's why Chilltown went off on you about Jokic. You said, I don't think Jokic could come in here and debate with us about all these different topics because he ain't, and Chilltown cooked you on that. That's why I asked you that question, sir. That's it.
Because someone like Joker, he knows the basketball game, but from interviews
you don't know if he knows.
But I don't know. Yes, I didn't definitively say he doesn't know. I said, I asked a question. Said, do you guys think he could? So I didn't say definitively no. But from based off the interviews, it seems like he doesn't care about the NBA. He knows about basketball. He doesn't care about the history.
He probably knows more about horses.
But horses are he leaves the NBA alone after he's done with the season. I didn't definitively say, oh, he's not qualified. He's a casual. I asked the question: do you guys think someone like Joker could come in here and have these deep dive? Oh, who's a better team, the 2012 Heat or the 2017 Warriors? That's what I said. So get that.
Well, we were willing to take this product that producers are alive.
Please do.
Jimmy, with this comment, Jimmy must have 2 left shoes with those big soles. Bird would be Austin Reeves today.
Jimmy for that.
Fact or fiction? Fiction. Thank you. All right, Mike's killer lineup. Here we go. Mike has Steph at the point, Klay, Bron at the 3, KG at power forward, and Hakeem at the 5. So is anyone beating this?
That's team? That's a good 5. That's a really good 5.
Of course. Yeah, Magic, Jordan, Kobe, Hakeem. Shaq. Hakeem and Shaq. Kareem and Shaq. Kareem and Shaq.
So to what the original, so to the original, like we was talking about what Wemby's 5 was. So
Steph, Mike, Bron, Duncan, and Shaq, right? That was his team.
Oh, okay. You can't use the same. You can't use any of the same players.
Yeah,
I mean, he's on the Spurs. I know he has.
Yeah, he had Curry too, right? You say Curry?
Steph,
I believe he had Curry.
I just want to be clear. No one's pointing out that he has Klay at the 2. Like that, right off the bat, that should.
I like it though, because Klay
gets in his team. It's just because Klay is just like the most easy player to just fit anyway. He just runs around screens, doesn't hold the ball, he'll shoot, and then.
So you're building an all-time team and Klay's on it.
I'm never doing that. No.
It's like
Curry, it was Jordan, James, Duncan, Diesel. That was his. That was Wemby's 5.
But Fluent, it's like when people put all-time teams together, and for instance, like when they do Jordan at the 2 and Pippen at the 3, they only put Pippen at the 3 not because they think he's the best small forward, but it's because that duo it gives them the boost points. You know what I'm saying? Like they want 6 together, so you put them together. So I think that's why they're doing Klay and Steph, because they win together.
They're a good duo.
So when we build our teams, if we still do it, because I don't know how long we have left.
What do you mean against Wemby?
Yeah, are we not allowed to pick?
Oh, well, let me ask y'all this, Mars and Fluent. Let me ask y'all this: how does Wilt fare against Shaq? Because he had Shaq at the center. How do you guys think a prime Wilt fares against Shaq? Because Wilt was strong too. Wilt was one of the strongest dudes in the NBA. I think you know that, Showtown.
Ever, not just in the NBA, ever.
So, hey, Fluent, I need your answer on that. How does Wilt fare against Shaq? Because we can put a team against that team. That's easy. But how does Wilt fare against a prime Shaq?
I think. Oof. I still think Shaq wins that matchup though. It's close. It's close.
Hold on. He can't outpower Wilt. He can't outpower Wilt. He can't do to Wilt what he did to all the other guys to outpower him.
That was Shaq's game. Shaq's game was brute force. He can't bully Wilt. He's not going to be able to do that with Chamberlain.
Yes, he can.
No way. Tone, I'm gonna tell you this really quickly, Tone, just so you know. Quote: I saw Wilt Chamberlain bench press 500 pounds. That's Mr. Olympian. That's Mr. Olympian Arnold Schwarzenegger who said that. I saw him bench press 500 pounds, and I don't believe it was a lie. I believe it was 100% true. So he's not pushing around Chamberlain.
But there's a difference between being strong and lifting weights.
Right, it is, and Chamberlain was naturally strong. By the way, he wasn't just weight. Remember, he was also naturally strong too.
Remember they said he also had like a 50-inch vert. Remember he said that?
Who? Chamberlain?
Wilt. Yeah.
Had a 50-inch vert. Yeah, he could touch the top of the backboard without.
That picture. Hold on.
He was a high jumping champion in the Big 12.
Where he does that. Hold on. That picture where he does that. His head is at the rim. Do you know what vertical he needed for his head to touch the rim based on his height?
What, like 23, Tone?
35 inches. 35 inches.
First and foremost, Tone,
his vert was 15 inches higher than that is a joke. Just like
why is it a joke, Tone? First of all, we're talking about a dude who was a high jump champion in college. That's number one. Number two, which is the most important part, Tone, you don't even think Wilt Chamberlain is a real person. So this conversation shouldn't even be happening. We shouldn't even be having this conversation. Tone, he only think he real, Ticket. Just so you know.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, he don't think Chamberlain's a real person.
Tone, you don't think the 100 happened? You don't think the 100 points happened?
No, he doesn't.
I know it didn't happen. Let me tell you something.
Disgusting, Tone.
I think that's the biggest compliment you can pay him.
Right, exactly. That's how good he was. You don't even think he's a real person.
This is Wilt. Wilt is like your new chick.
Unfortunately, Mars, I'll see you soon, brother. I love it. We'll do it again really soon, brother. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Hold on. When you say fluent, all right, Tone. All right, chill. What you say? What you say, Fluent? What you just say?
I said Wilt. The numbers around Wilt, his vertical, his this, his that, his strength is like your new chick when she gives you her body count. You got to divide it by 3 because he's full of crap. All right.
So you don't hold on. You don't. You seriously don't think he ever scored 100, even though they have it recorded in NBA history and on video?
Where's the video?
This video?
All right, show me that video.
They don't have it on video.
Somebody has that video in the NBA, bro. I'm guaranteeing
there's no cameraman.
So you assume they have it on video?
No, there's no camera.
I don't know
Confirmed.
about that.
Hold on. So there was no videos in the NBA that season.
Not for that game.
No, Mars. Listen what I'm saying. I'm saying that they people every game. I'm saying somebody has the video. Somebody had that video, bro. I'm telling you. There's no way he dropped 100.
Somebody
had the cameras out there.
There's no way a man dropped 100 and no one thought.
Guys, they don't even have audio. They don't even have audio. What are you talking about? Video? They don't even have audio.
So he just holding up the 100. He holding up the 100 after the game for no reason, Tone. He's holding up 100 after the game for no reason.
It was a publicity stunt.
What?
They're trying to hype up the NBA.
If there was video of it, I mean,
there's no video. And there's no video. There's no video. Listen to this. Listen to this. Your recollection of what happened, his recollection doesn't even match. They said they took pictures because the crowd rushed the game and they didn't play the last 14 seconds. They say they did play the last 14 seconds. They don't have any pictures of the crowd rushing the court in between the game. They don't have that. They have only the last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the game, even in audio, which didn't come out until 10 years after the fact. So some people say that was recorded after the fact. Only 2 minutes of a 48-minute game. That's all you have. 2 minutes of audio? No, it's publicity stunt that didn't happen. Thank you. Moving on.
So what's the true high? Hold on. What's the true highest you think somebody scored in?
Kobe had 81. Kobe had 81.
Kobe 81.
Hold on. So you don't think you? Hold on. I just want to finish 1 second.
Kobe 81.
So you don't think? So you think that he can score that? Booker can put up 70. Donovan Mitchell can throw up 70. But Wilt, who was the most dominant player in that entire era, who was just getting layups the whole game, basically, you don't think he can score 100? And this dude averaged 50 in a season before.
Did he ever average over 65 from the free throw line before? Yet you believe he shot?
Saying, but he averaged. Hold on, but Tom, he averaged 50 in a season. That means you were having 60 and 70-point games on the regular.
It was that season.
Yeah, that was the year.
Right, I'm saying when you average 50, you know this, Tone. That means you had to have some 60s, some 70s in there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No one's arguing they
so you think he scored? So you don't think he averaged 50 that year? You don't even think he averaged 50?
No, I believe he averaged 50. No, I believe he averaged 50. I don't think he scored 100. No. Too sus. No, too many question marks. Too many question marks.
NBA, y'all did an interview Tone on this. This is some groundbreaking stuff right here.
We were writing an article on this. They can't provide any piece of evidence, even the fact that the scorekeeper had everything so nicely and neatly written out. Okay, when there's only one scorekeeper who admitted that it was smoky. I kept having to look down at my scorecard. Things were happening so fast. I didn't see who scored some of those points. So we just gave it to Wilt sometimes. Like, what more question do you need? No video, no audio, no recollection accounts. There's nothing. There's nothing that proves that it happened. So I'm sorry. I'm not believing it. Period. That's it. Because history dictates that he couldn't shoot that percentage from the free throw line. That alone should tell you all you need to know.
28 or 32 is crazy. But someone told me that.
So you don't believe Mars? You don't believe it either?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I just don't care. If he did it, he did it.
No, I'm saying, but do you believe he did it though? Are you thinking like Tone's thinking, or do you believe that it happened?
There's only one instance. There's only one instance.
I
believe it is if they set it up to happen. That's the only thing. If they set it up to
happen. No, I'm saying, but do you? No, I'm asking you, Mars. Do you believe what Tone just said? Do you think it didn't happen?
If I had to bet, I'd say it didn't happen more than I'd say it did.
What?
There you go. Mars is smart.
Last question I have to you. Why would the NBA lie and make this up?
Publicity. They were trying to push the NBA. They're trying to sell tickets. Why wouldn't you push that? What? It's so perfectly even. 100 points, not 99, not 101, 100. Wow, what a spectacle!
So why not do that for today's game? Why not push a player?
Because now they have video. You can't do it.
You can't fake someone's stats when everyone can see everything.
Yeah, you can't do that now. Listen, Shiloh. Since you're asking the question, so you're telling me coincidentally, they moved the game to this little barn in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's not where they play their basketball games. 3 of the guys from the Knicks, their best centers, couldn't make it, couldn't play. Like, there's way too many things to make you go like that. Nothing about this game. It was on the up and up. Nothing. Why didn't they send a camera crew? They were recording games back then. Why didn't they record one? They had audio back then. Why didn't they record it?
I just think that we're in today's league. So like something like that happening today, that would never happen without it being recorded. Everything's recorded. Exactly. Phones, cameras everywhere. Exactly. I just think back then was a different time though. They didn't keep records as well. Maybe they didn't. Right. I don't know.
Hey y'all, Tom, we gonna finish this on your. We're gonna finish this on your show too, Tone, because there's no way you're gonna tell me you believe he averaged 50, which means he had to have some 60, some 70, some 80 pluses in there that season, but he couldn't get to 100, and when nobody could guard him.
Wilt's never broke 80. It's the 100-point game, and then everything else is in the 70s and 60s. So it was an outlier. He's never had. That's why Kobe's 81 is the second highest. Wilt's never got above 80, besides that one time. And
all right. So we'll do a special. We'll do a special on Wilt didn't score 100. But speaking of specials, J-Rob,
let's go.
And the show was something, yeah.
Yes. So today is a great day in Players' Choice history. As some of y'all may know, me, Ron, and JD had the opportunity to do media at the Champions of Change Celebrity All-Star Game out here in Seattle. Players' Choice first ever media event. It was a hell of an experience. We met a bunch of legends from Isaiah Thomas to Jamal Crawford, Sue Bird, Jewel Lloyd, a bunch of different people. But the video is finally up. I just want to be able to show y'all. It's out now. So make sure y'all tap in. I'm dropping a link right now. Make sure y'all go tap in, man. We're really trying to get this IRL content off the ground, and this is really a dope experience. And I would love for y'all to make sure y'all have to go tap in and make sure y'all go like the video. Dope content on the way. And that's it.
Salute, brother.
There you go. Sue Bird. Players' Choice.
Hey, Fluent, man, we're going to put you on the headlines for this, bro. I'm not finished with you on this, Wilt. We're going to put your ass headlines for this. I'm serious.
Let's do it. Until tomorrow, Players' Choice is out.
Peace.